everybody, it's me, Mia Pradigat. Welcome back to the Utapod, which is the only fan-made Utapri podcast on the internet, as far as I know, or at least internationally. I don't know if there's any Japanese podcast. I'm sure there's a Japanese podcast of fans or something, but this is the international one, with fans from all over the world. So today, everybody, first and foremost, it's our 10th episode. Oh my god. Yay! 10th episode. 10 episodes. Holy crap. I can't believe there have been 10 freaking episodes already now. That's crazy. That's just insane. But what we wanted to talk about for this episode is we want to talk about the music, because I feel like without the music, Utapri isn't Utapri, of course. It's an idol series. It's an ultimate series, of course, first and foremost. But it's also an idol series. And what do idols do? They sing and dance for you. So if there were no dancing, if there's no dancing and no singing, then it wouldn't be an idol series. It would just be a regular ultimate series. And we already have 8 billion of those. So Utapri is like, one of the first ultimate idol series, or at least like first idol series. I feel like male idol series doesn't have to just be ultimate. But anyway, I have 2 special guests today. We've got a returning guest and a brand new guest. So both of you, oh yeah, there you go, unmute mic, there you go. If you want to introduce yourselves, whoever wants to go first, you're more than welcome to.
Hey guys, Hikaze Princess here.
Hi, I'm Toll.
Okay. Nice. Very good. Thanks, Mimi. I appreciate it. And thank you for all of your help with the podcast and all the stuff you contribute. And of course, being a previous guest on more than one episode as well. Now, I don't have anything fancy. Well, maybe I do. Okay, so how about we do, if you guest on this podcast 10 times, if you want to, you can use our magical, I'll wave the wand, my magic light pen light. It's my wand, my Utapri wand, and if you're on this podcast 10 times, you get the chance to pick the topic for an episode of what you want to talk about. Like whatever you want. But you can only use it once, okay? So if you're on this podcast, I stole this idea from another podcast that I really like, where they do special guest stuff. But yeah, you can only use it one time, so you can always save it for later. But if you're on here 20 times, then you can only use it once. You don't get another one when you have been on here 20 times or 30 times or whatever. I took that idea from the Escape from Walt Disney podcast, which I highly recommend if you like Disney stuff, or not just Disney, but if you really like media in general. That's a really good podcast. I highly recommend it. Anyways, so today we're gonna talk about the music, the bangers.
The bangers.
Yes, and Toll here, they have come on this podcast because they have just wanted to be very passionate about the music. So Toll, since this is your first time on the podcast, you can just give a little bit of background maybe about how you got into Utapri and such. So go ahead, the floor is yours.
Absolutely. I knew of Utapri I think when season 1 of the anime started, simply because a couple of my friends were in it. But I never really actually got into it myself up until maybe when Shining Life came out. And that was what got me. Unfortunately, I feel like that's how a lot of the Western fandom gets into it to begin with. They're sucked in by a little rhythm mobile game. And they're like, oh, shoot, this kind of goes. So obviously, you're there for a good minute. And the year that I did get into it, some really bonkers stuff happened. So it kind of helped me through that and whatnot. I ended up getting a little bit more into it later, and then I kind of fell out at some point because life gets busy. It's When I tried getting into some other like mobile games after I actually had time to live a life that was not work, I was like, man, I wonder if Utapri still around. It was, and then it shut down that year. You know,
Last year,
we ain't
Christmas
even gonna
time.
talk about it, but I was just like, you know what? I'm going all in today. So I did. I did go all in. I went all in. Clearly, I went all in. So consumed, bewitched. Um, we won't talk about it like that. But
So
yeah, it helped me through some stuff. The music specifically. I used to play piano anyways. I started violin. I played piano for several years. Went to school for it. Um, fell out of it because life. But music just usually plays a whole huge part in something that I can't get into something if like audibly like it just doesn't sound great. If I'm listening to something specifically, I either have to have a visceral reaction or it's not happening. And that sounds like very extreme, but it's just how I experienced it. So when I got into Uzupri, like that's how you knew it was good.
I totally feel that because like, so would you say this is like your comfort
It
series?
most serious, honestly, yeah. This is like the comfort series I keep coming back to.
It's
Like I
definitely one
can't leave.
for me as well. Like especially like the music, like you said, because
Right.
I'm like, I mean, I'm like that with music too. Like
Hmm.
just in general, like I'm not well. I always say like I'm a former emo kid, but I'm not really because I still really like all
It's
those
still
bands
there. It
and
keeps
stuff.
coming
Yeah,
back.
like it's not a phase. I think
Exactly.
I've mentioned that before. It's not a phase. Like it's still like there's still music that
Hmm.
I really like, and that people like when my people friends in real life when they think about me and the music I like
Right.
that music, the like emo Trinity pop punk kind of stuff. Like that's what people think
Right.
about when they think about me, and so I was super into that scene for a really long time. I still am. Like, I'm gonna go see Fall Out Boy next month.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah, Chicago and their home turf. It's like that's gonna be fun. But yeah, it's like I'm very like with music. I'm very particular. I can be
Right.
kind of picky, but with Utapri, like it's definitely um, a comfort series and comfort music. Because I can listen to like a Utapri song that I really love and instantly like not have a care in the world and like feel good and
Exactly.
feel better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, with that said, do you want to go through your slideshow that you made?
Most certainly.
Okay, perfect. Cole made a slideshow for us to look through. So here we go. I'm gonna put it on the screen for everybody. So here we go. So
All
I
right.
love this title screen.
If any of y'all know me from the server, you already know. I say it like this a lot. I'll never stop saying it like this. It's a bangers only zone. We only got bangers here. There's no bad song. And that's just that on that. Literally no bad songs. I don't know how they did it.
See, bangers means something different to me.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. I understand the terminology does indeed change from area to area, so I do apologize if this but
Well, I just mean like I think bangers. I think like hair bands, like
yeah,
headbangers.
usually yeah.
I
But
mean,
I
Utapri
kind of
stuff is
use it as like
great,
a
but I don't know how many of the songs are that level.
right. And you know what? A good bit of them are. Quite frankly, I'll headbang to anything. But with that being said, let's go ahead and go through. I made a little thing of the just themes and motives of what I've noticed with character
Okay,
songs and whatnot.
cool.
Um,
This is what I love about Utapri fans specifically, because we can find the motifs and themes of like anything for our specific like faves,
Yes.
exactly.
like very easily. So I'm curious to see how you've done this.
And I will say once again, former music major, not current music major. I didn't go through all of that 100%, but I think that I do have a little bit of a leg up on the competition.
Oh, for sure.
All right, no pictures for this person. Don't worry about it. Invariably, the motive's immediately recognizable. He's just the most optimistic dog boy, red hair, Genki ass dude. This is the guy. That's the guy. That's the blueprint of a guy. Don't worry about season 4. Like, don't even worry about it. What I'm gonna say here is literally what I've noticed with almost all of his songs, save for like 2 solos, are that they're all in that not exactly a major key, but it's definitely something that's still uplifting in a sort of way. Even the last 2, Horizon, I Am Here. In Horizon, it's literally not major key at all whatsoever. This dude really just makes his song sound like he's climbing a mountain. I don't know how he did that. That's a lie. I do know how he did that. That's the orchestral stuff going like a higher sort of scale. I do know how that happened, but just the way that they did that, I'm just like, man, whatever happened in that studio, we'll never be privy to it, but they sure did make a banger. Those 2, however, because they're a little less, very specifically like happy, upbeat, 100%, like at least 160 BPM at that point, it's one of those where you're like, man, he's going through it, huh?
Yeah. Well, because like you think about a song like I don't know, like I'm gonna be very easy and just kind of pick songs from the anime because I've
Right.
recently been showing one of my friends the anime. We finished season 4 and we watched Magilove
Right.
Kingdom. We haven't watched the special or Star Shores yet, but like you think of like his first song in the anime, like Brand New Melody, like like compared to like Next Door or
literally, we're not even talking about Next Door. Oh my god!
Or like what is his song in Star Wars? What is that song title?
Stop! Even I forgot now.
Wait, which one?
The one in Star Shores where he's at Stonehenge.
It's so new, I forgot it.
No, literally, it's so new. Like I've been going through the vintage bangers today specifically to prepare for this.
Hello World, that's what it's called. Hello World.
Yeah,
like compared to that song, they're very like it's like you said, they're like very like upbeat, uplifting, but
not
like
even in a formulaic way,
different ways. Because like
yeah.
Okay, maybe Next Door isn't upbeat, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but that's not.
We're not talking about that's a duet. That's a duet.
Okay, sure, true, very
taking
true.
that one out. I love him, but
yes, he is sweet boy.
He is so sweet. All right, we good to go for the next one?
Yes.
All right.
Let's go.
Y'all gonna hate on me for this one.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry. I love him. Don't get me wrong. I love him. I love him very much, but there is actually no specific formula for this guy other than what was going on at the time of the song written. This dude is very much based specifically on very popular idols of that time. That's why when it was going through at 2009, I'm like, man, damn, this is very
meta.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just sitting here like, man, literally, I was getting my hair done today while I was doing that specific slide specifically. I was just like, man, Arashi kind of went back in 2007. Oh, shoot, I got to do. And immediately I was like, man, that kind of did have a Tokiya vibe to it, didn't it? And I think it was just so heavily based on what was popular in the industry at the time of, production, at the time of whenever they were composing it, that they're like, it makes sense that that would be it. Because none of his songs sound, very specifically following any sort of formula for that. He doesn't even have a very specific instrument. It's just Mamoru Miyanoing.
I was just gonna say, I mean, they're ready for Mamoru Miyano. Like,
exactly.
Like you could give him like any kind of song, and he'll like
knock it out of the park.
Yeah, he's just like on another level.
They are just giving him anything.
Yeah, like he's just on another level, and I'm just like, I've never wanted to go to a concert so bad, even for like bands that I really like. But I want to go to a Mamoru Miyano concert like so
Oh
bad.
my
You're
god,
right.
yes.
I don't even stand, but
You just
man,
can't help it.
like I feel as though like being there would be specifically an experience to begin with,
Yes.
so you can't help it.
I mean, yeah, like
That
'cause
is a
I
dude
have,
who understands the assignment.
yes,
Exactly.
for sure. I have because
He's
I have
understood. Sorry.
no, I'm good. You're good. I have his Blazing Tour on Blu-ray.
I know he ate.
And it's just like it's amazing. He's like one of the best triple threats I've ever seen.
Oh, for sure.
Like
Literally.
he's just because like with his lives too. Like I know we're talking about Mamoru Miyano and not Tokyo, but like it's still the same. They're like the same.
Right.
This is like the one character of his that I feel like this is like because he very much loves Tokyo a lot. Like as like
Yes.
his child. So yeah, but like he'll do like when you watch any of his lives, he always has like skits that are like pre-recorded. A lot of the time.
Oh yeah.
To like give you like give the show like a break for like them to change costume or take a break or whatever. So it's always like a 10-15 minute skit, but they're always like so funny. There's one, I forget which live it is. Is it I forget what the title of the live is, but you can really see what a triple threat he is because one, you're watching the concert, so you watch him sing and dance, and then you watch the skit, and it's like Bewitched, like the old show from like the 60s.
Yeah.
It's like Bewitched, but he plays all the characers, and it's
all the characters.
Yes,
Bruh.
Oh my god,
it's so good. It's so good. If you just like if you just look in Mamonza, if you look at Mamonza on YouTube, I'm sure you'll find like someone has like fan subbed it or something. It's fucking hilarious. I like if you've never seen Mamonza, you need to watch it. Yeah, I think it's Loving. It's Loving. Loving is the title of that live. It's so good. That one's so good. And then for Blazing, he did a skit with like with a bunch of other seiyuu, where they play superheroes. And they have to participate in like a game show. I
know that's funny. I know that would be funny.
To like escape the villain, and it's super funny. Yeah, see,
Yo.
and he'll get his fellow Utapri seiyuu sometimes to be the ones in the skits. They're so good. I highly recommend watching
the amount of stuff
live or clips of it. If you can get your hands on a Blu-ray, you gotta watch it. It's so good. Oh yeah, the Tokyo bed sheet. That one's super funny.
Yo.
Yeah, so yeah, Ono D and Ryohei in the Blazing one. That one's super funny. They also
bring over a what?
So yeah, highly recommend. I highly recommend you watch a Mamoru Miyano live.
I'm gonna find it.
Yes, or like look at the skits. I'm sure people have put the skits on YouTube or something or somewhere. But the Mamonza one is my favorite.
I'm gonna keep this in mind. Thank you.
That's also another thing is like is the pineapple one. Is Miyabi also another live skit? God. I think if you guys know like Pineapple Mamo, like that's Miyabi.
The thing when he was like 16.
Well, yeah, the character's 16. So yeah, he plays like a 16-year-old who like loves pineapples or whatever. Wow. So yeah, that's one of the other ones. But anyways, yeah, I think
when I first heard "Be the Light," that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Miyabi. I love Miyabi. So yeah, Tokyo is just Mamoru Miyano in like a slightly different font because it's his
what? I feel it.
It's like his
persona.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, it's another reason why I'm a Tokyo stan.
I can dig it.
Yeah, Miyabi's like the eternal 16-year-old. He's like so 16. It's super funny. I highly recommend it.
I'm gonna need to watch that at some point for real. All right, we good? We good on Tokyo today?
Yes,
for the time being.
We're good.
All right. I forgot I wrote that. Sorry.
Wow.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
I can't look at the screen. Never mind. Give me a second. I do actually have a lot to say about the piano being like the most traditional instrument that they could have picked for him, other than, a literal Japanese instrument at that point, solely
Right.
because the amount of, I suppose, prestige that I feel as though people think people who own actual pianos have is it's kind of bonkers. If you have ever seen the actual price of just an upright piano, it's ridiculous. Um, Imagine the actual price of a grand piano at that point. I ain't paying all that.
Mm.
Um, there's a lot about that is just kind of bestie. And that's the one you chose. It's basically a status symbol at that point because 90% of the people who I know have pianos in their home do not play that thing. They don't even got no way to tune it. It's just there to look pretty. Um, However, actually playing it, well, there you go. And that is such a huge thing with him. Even some of the more upbeat or less traditional songs that are definitely pushing the envelope for him definitely still have a very specific vibe to them. And that just might be the voice actor for him. I do not entirely know how to dissect this one. I do know how to say it's a banger, though. I do know how to say they only dropped bangers with this one. I cannot name a bad song.
Yeah, Masato's songs
I,
are like, you can tell you're listening to a Masato song just because, again, like very traditional sounding,
exactly.
or
And
like they're
even if
very
it,
epic.
sorry,
Or
Or
even
there's
just
like,
very
exactly.
elegant.
yeah,
Exactly. Even if like most fortissimo, you wouldn't have expected something like that from a guy who looks like that.
Yeah.
I
Not to
love
say
that song.
anything, but it's like it just immediately starts and then you hear like the piano and you're like, oh yeah, that's a Masato song.
I love that song.
Yeah.
It's a good song. That's a fun song.
I think one of my
Don't like
favorites is Night No Kiss because the way it just sweeps into the intro.
exactly.
That's
Exactly. He is
beautiful.
sweeping directly into the rest of that song like a knight sweeping you off your feet off a big ass horse. I'm telling you. It did what it needed to do for the atmosphere.
Yes.
Mimi says,
God bless.
Shinaru Senritsu, God bless,
That one
amen.
specifically
Oh
did
yeah.
something. That one did something to my brain chemistry. I am forever more changed. The entire trajectory of my life no longer exists. It's whatever happened that day.
That's like the right amount of elegance and
They
ferocity.
did something. He was in his EDM bag, and I was like, okay, you know.
Like I've got one last trick I haven't pulled.
For sure.
It was good.
Night No Kiss is my favorite period. So, but yes,
And
Yes.
that's fair. And that's fair. I'm gonna go through my favorites in after these, but after these short messages. I'm not a Hakoshi, but some of his songs do indeed plague my little mind as if I was absolutely bewitched by the little gremlin in Scarbo from the poems Gaspard de la Nuit. And I'm telling you right now, if you've known that poem, you understand that thing is a plague. So let's begin. They could have done a lot more with Ren, I think, specifically because they really just looked at that dude and said,
Playboy.
and they could have utilized that better. They could have utilized the voice so much better, in my opinion, because it would really have like lended to jazz and cabaret so much. I love his songs, don't get me wrong, because they actually stay in my mind for an unrealistic amount of time, and I have to wake up and listen to half of these, and I'm like, I'm not a Hagoshi, and then that happens. But I do definitely like the jazz elements. I just think they could have utilized it. Sorry, a lot better. That might have been the music major coming out for like 2 seconds.
yeah.
And I feel so bad about that. My bad, guys. I wasn't here to critique, but
I I do I love Ren's songs. I mean, because I'm a big Junichi Suave fan too, so that also helps.
Mhm. No,
I
absolutely.
love that man. I love his
Absolutely.
voice.
Suave did what he needed to do.
But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Like, yeah, we need more jazz, more saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I don't mind the whole like Latin like flamenco kind of thing. Like
And
I don't
that's
mind that because I really
right.
like Ready to Be a Lady. Like that song is so good.
Mhm.
But yeah, I wish we got more saxophone, if that makes sense. Like
Exactly.
I want more
Because
sax
there's
solos.
right. There's a way to be able to combine the jazz and the Latin music to begin with. That's the
Uh-huh.
entire reason, like, there's the whole jazz scene in Spain and Portugal and Brazil. And yet, here they are. I'm not saying Freedom was a bad song. Where's the sax?
Yeah, that's one song that now that you mention, I'm like, yeah, I wish there was a saxophone
I'm not saying it was bad, but brother,
solo, or like I wish it had like a Latin beat, I guess, more so. If that's like the other like theme
right.
you
It
like
felt more
you're
like he was
going
trying to go to the
with.
club with that one.
There's more Latin influence in traditional jazz, like blues.
Exactly. Like, come
Yeah,
on, brother. You can do so much better than this. I know that's not his
yeah.
fault. Composers, I'm looking directly at you.
Yeah. I do
With that
not
being
sit
said,
on it.
I want to end that one with I still love him though. I'm not a
Oh yeah.
Hakoshi.
I mean, yeah. I yeah.
He's cool.
I still think Rose Rose Romance is like the best Red song. I love that song. It's so good. It's so fun. It kind of is
It's
like
so
a
good.
combination of like both beats, I guess. Like there's the saxophone in there, but it has like a beat that is like, oh yeah, this could be kind of like
Right.
Latin
It's danceable,
influence. Yeah,
definitely.
it's super danceable, and I really like that. I wish that I could watch that. I could listen to it live. That would be great. Maybe in the
And
next
yet,
Starish Live, please do so. I want to hear all of the solo songs from that last solo CD live, please. I just want to see that. But I'm sure it's going to be Starish Tour songs instead, which is
right.
fine. But I want to hear that. I want to
Right.
hear Target Is You live, going back to Tokyo.
You right.
I
You
want to hear
right.
these songs live, damn it.
I'm
And
not
they
trying to backtrack, but some of those live versions really severely went. I'm not saying where they went, but brother, they went.
all right,
All right,
move on to the
let's
next
move
one.
on. The guy who yelled.
Okay, see,
Not far off.
this is where I feel like people might get mad at me because like I keep saying that like that's like all show song. It's just screaming song. You just
And
scream.
not the entire time, though.
You just
Oh,
yell.
yeah.
It's a towel waving song. It's like every other
Exactly.
show song.
Yes.
I'm already like I'm kind of done with it. Like please give him something different, please. My God.
He's a
He's got
tiny
maybe
guy with a lot of energy.
that one
I mean, yes.
Sweet Kiss. Yeah.
I love Sweet Kiss.
Oh,
That's
That
my
one is so
favorite
good,
show
actually.
song.
Like,
It's cute. I like it.
And
you
his
know what?
solo from the Legend Star duet series.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
one
one
too, yeah.
actually very much went like.
Yes.
I need to actually buy that one specifically solely because that one did something when I first listened to it full, and I was like, Jesus, my little brain.
Okay,
Yeah,
I will
it went.
say his solo song from Starish Tours has grown on me, guys. So you can stop being mad when I said I was like, about it when I talked about it last time.
It is actually like so genuinely catchy. Like even if you did dislike it at first, like you're bound to like it eventually. Like it's no matter what at that point. That's scary. Whatever they put in these songs, they gotta
It's because
maybe hold off on the Chemical X.
I feel like it's because it's Shimono so like
yeah.
like he's just the screamy guy. Okay, you like
no, you're gonna be hype. You're gonna be hype.
He's got that kind of energy anyway.
Choice.
Oh my God, Pam. Okay, yes. There you go. Okay, I like the song. All right, it's fun.
LMAO. But I will also say that a lot of the when they do feature the violin in a lot of his songs, it tends to be because they're so high energy and whatnot, you can't play it in any other way but like a fiddly way. Not like a child prodigy way, but like you have to play it like a fiddle at that point. It's so high energy, you gotta go off. You know?
Yeah.
It's good. It's refreshing because like since when are you gonna hear a song with violin that's like, okay, Mr. Fiddler on the Roof, I see you.
You
You
know,
know?
Show could be the Fiddler on the Roof.
Dancing around like that.
Like, he could though. You know, we talked about it last time where like in a future episode I want to do like what Broadway shows would Tokia be in. But I think we can do maybe all of them. Like all the guys. Yeah, Show would be the Fiddler on the Roof for sure.
Oh my god.
The production of Fiddler.
I could so see Tokia in Singing in the Rain.
Oh yeah.
He's gotta have that big name one.
But that's for another episode. We'll do that later.
Yes.
So we can all compare lists and such. But yeah, I love that you have the guy who yells, because that's
the guy who yells.
It's because when I think of a show song, except for like Sweet Kiss, like the more ballady ones with the like sweet ones, like that's what I think about. Like he's gonna scream something.
It's not bad. He's just yelling. It's right. Give him a second.
He's that passionate,
right?
Yeah, and the show stands. Y'all get it. Y'all understand. I'm not a show stan or or anything like that. I like his song. I like the songs. It's just sometimes I'm like, okay,
right.
I like if I'm skipping through everyone's songs like in order by character, it's like, okay, like every song has to be a screamy song.
Yeah.
I just get kind of tired of it, but I'm not saying they're bad songs.
There's a time and place, and sometimes my brain can't take it. It's alright though. All right, we move. I have something to say.
Oh yes,
I have a lot to say.
I forgot you love Natsuki, right? That's your favorite.
I'm taking the glasses off.
Oh boy.
Oh my god. Okay,
you go for it.
Listen. The amount of character development that this guy goes through the entire thing of this entire discography. Please excuse me. I'm just very passionate about this. The amount of character growth that you see just happening in these songs, it immediately goes from like literally like could be on some Visual K Band's album or some whatever. And then it goes into Suki Suki Hanamaru? I will Bon Appetit? The amount of growth that happened in this dude, you can't put a label on this dude specifically. There's just so much going on in his little brain that I don't even want to comprehend it anymore. He is what he is. Let him live. That's a cryptid. I love him anyways. I don't have to understand.
Now you say that, it makes sense. Like he's learning to be more of his own musician and not
literally
rely on Satsuki so much.
Exactly. You get it. All right. But it's like literally when he gets up to that point, he's finally singing the things that he wants to be able to sing. You get this dude, he just loves cute shit. And he's like, man, he's literally just like, I watched a little bit of the gameplay through and I have got to say, this dude's bonkers. Not in like the anime way, but he's still undertone and everything. But like, foreign oto making, this guy's bonkers. I love this.
Yeah.
Love this.
He even wrote a song for Satsuki.
Exactly. And even that one is so much more understated. It like actually puts a weight in the air when you get to that chorus. It hurts a little bit.
It's even kind of heavy from the beginning because it starts out a cappella.
Right. Exactly. And then when you finally bring in the instrumental for that specific, when that drum comes in, and I think you know exactly which drum comes in, and I will even tap it out if I must, but specifically when it starts doing the triplets section, that hurt me.
Yeah. It's like Baby Boy got something to say.
Exactly. It feels like there's a pull specifically on those drums. That specific section is where I finally I caved.
Yes.
That was it. And that's just on that song.
I mean, like, when he's not singing, he's the biggest goofball I've ever seen, and I love it. But then
the amount
give him a
of
mic
depth.
and he can just, pour his soul out.
Exactly. The amount of
I hadn't
depth
thought
in
of it
this
like that,
one
but I
little
like
guy.
it. He's just
I don't know how they did it.
Big sweetie.
I have no goddamn idea how they did it. That's why I can't put anything on this slide.
Well, because there's so much to say, right?
There's so much to say.
I definitely now that you mention all that, like thinking about it with his character specifically, like, yeah, they're like before like the cutesy songs or whatever that he gets, aside from Pio-chan. But it's like, yeah, most of the, like, all of his other songs is like, the very like passionate, like the hard songs,
That's the Satsuki side showing through.
Yeah. And like and when you watch it in the anime too, like the character growth and such with the songs, it's like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. Like, like these are Satsuki songs because they're very like guttural, not necessarily like with his voice, but like you just like can feel it,
right,
in your soul, But I also think, again, that's also akin to, and like a testament to who his Seiyu is, because like
no, very much so,
because like Kishota Miyama, like he's a dude that like he's one of the guys that like has cried during one of the lives, and it's just like, oh my god, like I could see how he loves his character and such. And then you watch like Grand Rodeo music video or performance, and you're like, oh my god, yeah, I totally get it.
Grand Rodeo
they go that hard all the time.
This is not about Grand Rodeo, but Lord, Grand Rodeo.
They're so good. They are one of my favorite Japanese bands.
They are.
They're so good. Like every anime opening or ending that they do is straight up fucking banger.
Yes.
Exactly. It's straight fire.
So if y'all have never listened to them before as a band, go do it now. They're so good.
I'm gonna recommend Question Time specifically because sometimes I listen to that and I just go through it, repeat. I just have to listen to Question Time specifically.
What I like to do is I like to listen to all of the Kuroko no Basuke openings that they do. Because all of those songs are so good. So good.
No, they are. But then again, it's Grand Rodeo. What would you expect?
Yeah, exactly. But that's one of the other things is like, like you wouldn't think that like looking at that band, like, oh yeah, that lead singer, like, yeah, he plays like one of the most like one of the idols is like, I love cute things. Like I'm so
exactly.
Like,
you would not have expected this from the Seiyu, but it's ranged.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, and speaking of Grand Rodeo, Once and Forever does sound like a song that Natsuki would have sung at some point.
You're right.
That's why.
That's definitely why I love that we have a lot of Seiyu that have like a music career on their own or like a band.
I actually genuinely
in Utapri because like they can kind of like they can understand their characters a little bit better. Because it's like, oh yeah, I go on tour with my band or as a music artist, and I have my own songs that I really like and that I love performing. So they can kind of like, really get into their character.
Yeah, they understand the assignment.
Yes,
that part. It's not like they're going into this completely blind. All right, moving on from my little guy. I forgot to put that last point. Don't even worry about it. All right. I will say that a lot of time when they do the group compositions, it does feel like he's just kind of tacked on at the end. And
yeah.
I will say it is definitely difficult to try to incorporate a seventh member when you have all of these that are definitely grouped up into pairs already. With that being said, I don't want to sit here and say do better. But like Y'all the composers, right?
Yeah.
However, I think that he does definitely have it's not as solid as a motive, but it's definitely a very solid motive. Definitely I feel as though like a lot of chimes in addition to the flute are used though. Like to give it a sort of like
Hmm.
because you know that little sparkly sound that usually happens in like movies or whatnot, the little sparkly sound effect and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like the
usually like a
chimes.
chime or a triangle or like, certain things are just kind of layered on upon each other, and they're definitely using a lot of that as well in some of that.
And then a song like Happiness
Mm-hmm.
definitely gives you that kind of Middle Eastern vibe.
Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah,
do
This is
think
why I
they
like that one
definitely use
so
a
much.
lot of that. Yeah.
well, because it's like, well, he's our like foreign character, right? So like,
Exactly.
we
Yeah.
gotta give him like something different that's not really quite
Yeah.
Japanese or even like Western sounding, like rock and roll or
Exactly.
something like that.
Yeah.
And although I won't address that elephant in the room, but definitely they definitely have a certain what's the word, blueprint, I guess is the one I can use for this one, for certain parts of the song. Yeah.
I can see
It's
what you mean about feeling like he's just thrown in there, like the
mhm.
7-man version of Majila 1000.
Oh
He's got
yeah,
Mhm.
that one solo bit at the end. There was nowhere else to put him.
Mhm. Even
yeah,
on Shining Romance, he's in the parts where they do the, individual pieces. Even though it is just individual pieces though, it's like he's the only one with a part that does not directly correlate to the previous part or something like that.
Yeah,
Usually the parts
he's
do
bringing up the rear.
repeat. Exactly. They usually repeat a certain section for, it follows up. But
Yeah,
that one just kind of is a tail end of something.
not necessarily a bad thing though.
Right, exactly. But I just feel like they could have incorporated it, uh, just everything a little bit better.
Right.
They could have incorporated him a little bit better in some of the group songs as well.
that's
That
why I
being
feel like
said,
the cross unit songs when it's like three people, it makes it easier, obviously, to like incorporate
exactly.
Yeah.
like Cecil in that stuff because
Hmm.
it's 3 parts instead of 7. It's still an odd number, but you can have like
Right.
a 3-part harmony or
Right.
like
Or
like
it's easier to share the solo
yeah,
parts.
it's easier to share the solo
Exactly.
parts. Like someone gets one verse, someone gets the other verse, someone gets the bridge. Then you can like
Yeah.
switch it out or whatever.
For example, Code
Exactly.
TVU.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that one just now. Yeah.
That's like the one trio song you can think of with Cecil in it.
I can think of Polaris actually.
Oh
I
yeah,
can think
But
of
that's because
yeah.
I'm a. Mm.
It's the same kind of thing where there's slight overlap in the vocals.
Exactly.
or I would say like Kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope.
Mm.
Why didn't I think kaleidoscope? Because I got these kaleidoscope colored pins over here.
That's one of the a song that I really really love.
It's a good song.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
They ride on
Like it grew
hoverboards,
on
man.
me.
That's so sick. And they wear Heelys. I want Heelys as an
I thought it
adult.
was actually just hilarious. The T spin Heelys. T pose spinning with the Heelys.
Yeah, he's like T-posing, like, woo.
Yeah, he's just having the time of
He-
his life.
Those definitely sound like something Sho would have in the back of his closet.
Right, exactly. And that's something
Like he'll break them out and be like, "Hey!"
Oh, yeah.
literally Destiny's okay, I actually
Destiny's
have
song
something to
is
say about
such a good
Destiny's song
song. Oh
later.
my
I
god.
promise you. I
It-
included
Oh,
Destiny's
yeah.
song in a slide. I promise you.
For me, like, okay, so I grew up listening to, like, before I discovered the emo trinity when I was in middle school. Before I discovered my music, you know how, like, you kind of grow up with, like, what your parents listen to?
Yeah.
Because they have control of the radio in the car, you know?
Exactly.
So like my parents have their specific music they like. My dad really likes Motown, and then my mom really likes like folk rock, I guess. And like Destiny's song to me kind of sounds like it could have been like a folk rock song, I guess. That makes sense. It has like the elements of like wind and such.
In a way, yeah.
Like it just and it I feel like that's why I really like that song. It just reminds me of like those kinds of like folk rock songs from like the 70s.
Right.
Not necessarily like it sounded
Because the way it begins, yeah,
but like just like the feeling that it gives me specifically, like you know, from what I've experienced in terms of like that kind of music, like it gives me that feeling, and I really like it. That's one of my favorite
right.
songs. It's so good.
I actually do have a slide on that one later, so I promise we can get back to Destiny Song because I'll go off about Destiny Song. I promise you I will. I will go off. All right. And now for these short messages. How we feeling so far, guys?
I'm feeling good.
I'm good.
All right. Great.
Chat,
because I do want to talk a little.
How does the chat feel?
How does the chat feel? I would like some audience participation.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Oh my God, they're all just singing the songs, the lyrics of Kaleidoscope.
Oh my God.
when you like it, you
so
like
true.
it.
I think the best part of Machi Love Kingdom actually was when they had the hologram heart with the sparkles and everything.
Yeah,
everything before at least was like a tiny little bit realistic, and then you had that hoverboards and all.
My favorite part.
True, it was a good song though, man.
Well, yeah, and I'm like, wow, you guys put that at the last, like that's the last,
literally,
like trio song. Like, what the hell, man? Why you guys save that for the end?
They didn't need to do that.
Save the best for last.
I know, but like,
now hold on.
When I watch my Kingdom, I'm always like, I just want to get to Kaleidoscope.
No, every single time I do all that, I'm like, okay, I have a list of songs I want to listen to. It's The World Is Mine and Egoistic. I'm done.
Wow,
I love all these songs. I love all these songs.
Of the movie.
But what can I say? I'm a bankers enjoyer. All right, on to Reiji. This dude. I'm not a Hako.
My guy.
I'm not a Hakoshi, but I do want to say I immediately peaked just the late 80s, early 90s idol influence, like that Showa era, sort of late Showa era at least. And I'm just sitting here like, all of his early songs really sounded like that, but with, you know, a higher beat and just a little bit more modernized. And immediately I was like, what is this disco fella doing in the kid's house? This old fella.
Old fella?
I know he ain't old. But like, have you seen?
Well, he's the oldest out of everybody.
No,
so.
Exactly. Have you seen the official ages?
Yeah, he was like 25, isn't he?
No, now. I mean, as of right now,
oh,
today.
No, now he's like, you know what?
He's
like
40.
30?
I don't think so.
Let's see.
I don't know. What's his
I'm gonna place my bet on 40.
What is
I'm gonna place the bet on 40.
I know for a fact Mori Kubo is in his 40s. Reiji, I don't think so.
I'm gonna keep my bet on that one. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna just like keep that one on the table, and if I fold, I fold. But
just don't put all your money on it.
I'm gonna put a couple chips on that one. I most certainly will. But considering like the era and everything.
Like most of his stuff is upbeat, but then Itoshi Kihito comes along and you're like, dude.
Yeah.
He's got that baggage that not everybody knows about unless you play the games.
Unless you play the games. And when I played the game, I didn't play the games. When I, went through some of the summaries and everything, went through some of the translations, I was just sitting here and I was like, huh? You what? He what? It was something that like it just kind of takes you aback for a second. You're just like kind of confused and you're like, man, we would not have known this otherwise.
Oh my god, I just thought about that. Maybe that's who Itoshi Kihito is about. Maybe that's what it's referring to.
Oh, Ein?
Yeah. Maybe. Never said it had to be a lover.
Yeah.
Could just be a dear friend that he misses.
Fair enough.
I hadn't thought about that before.
Yeah,
But
he
I
has
will say,
like
even the vibes on
secret.
that one though.
He got secret baggage. Like I said, like
Secret baggage, he's not talking
unless you
about.
know the lore, or like you've played the game, you know, it's just like, all right, all
Mimi, I'm gonna
night.
get back to you on that one
Oh,
because I
Mimi.
do have a slide for that specifically as well.
Uh,
I do, I promise you.
that's why Reiji's my guy. He's still got a lot left to show us.
Exactly. There's layers on this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we move.
Yes.
Also, accidentally forgot to take off that little bullet point. However, I actually have a lot to say about this one because Ranmaru, at first, I thought I was going to like him the most simply because he was like rocking everything. Utapri really pulled me from the Visual K metal experimental trenches. I mean, like experimental, like the
Like
Durong Gray
indie
side
stuff.
projects, like like what this dude wasn't putting on his main label, you know. And I was just like, man, this goes, this goes,
Yeah.
and it did.
I like
It's
to say
very.
that. I like to say that he has just he has rock flowing through his veins.
Exactly.
yeah.
Even
He's
if the
first
song,
and foremost, he's just always rock and roll.
period. Even if the song isn't specifically rock, like rock based, it still
Yeah.
has a very, very specific vibe that would make you want to categorize it as such, despite the lack of a literal rock, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like it's
especially
not,
something like
yeah,
Be Proud.
exactly. That's still rock to me. Would it
Yeah,
be
it's a, it's a,
categorized
it's a
as
rock
such on like
ballad.
a, right?
Yeah, you just need
Yeah.
like a guitar solo,
Exactly.
like,
Yes.
you know, in the middle of it
Mm-hmm.
to make it like a, you know, it's gonna sound more like a rock ballad, like proper
Exactly.
rock ballad you could hear from like any, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Bohemian Rhapsody had at least 2 of them.
Yeah.
Exact. I feel as though this guy probably would have really liked X Japan specifically, simply because of the ballads that they did do. Once again, I was the VK guy before, so I might be talking about stuff
Nothing
ain't
wrong
nobody
with
else
that.
got, but huh?
Nothing wrong with that.
I like to think of myself as a VK historian with a bachelor's. But we move. I got beef with him. I got
Oh,
beef with him in his style. I love him. I'm not a Hakoshi, but I love him. But I got
okay.
beef with this guy. His earliest songs definitely were ballads. And then he went on to styles that were reminding me of like literally Capsule. I don't know if y'all know Capsule. They were this duo. I say were as if like they're not still releasing music. They're this duo that was basically electronic music at first, but they weren't really electronic to begin with. They were more like Shibuya K, and that was this completely specific genre that was, you know, it's upbeat. It's definitely very it's very Y2K. I think that's the best way for me to explain this. That was what Capsule was doing. They were like peak Y2K electronic. He's all the guy who does Capsules, most of their composition also directs projects like Perfume. So you can see where I'm getting like the electronic everything here. He did the soundtrack for Liar Game, so it's a lot of. This guy's pretty prolific in that specific respect. Why I'm saying this is some of I's songs later on definitely sound like they could have been directed by this dude specifically, and that's why I'm sitting here like, yo, hold up. Because at some point Capsule did just not release things for like several years simply because Wave Runner was not good. I'm like, don't be Wave Runner 2, brother.
Well,
You're better. Like, if he gets to that point, I don't think he's going to get to this point because, first of all,
Well,
he
I
knows
don't
the
know if this has
assignment.
any bearing on I's music, but
No. Mm-hmm.
parallel that with like you said, these guys have music careers outside Utapri.
Mm-hmm.
Shota Aoi is growing and evolving as a performer. Maybe that
Exactly.
has some indirect influence.
Mm. No, you're
Well,
right.
also like because there's that like like his music career like
Mhm.
as an actual like, performer, but also like I feel like because like I's a robot, so
Exactly.
it's
That's what
kind of
I'm
like
saying.
he's got to have those beeps and boops in there because like
At first he didn't though, and that's why I was like, man,
I like Futari no Monogram. That sounds
the
cool.
Tarno monogram
Yeah.
went.
Oh, and AI. If we're talking slow songs, that one's one
Mm-hmm.
of my favorites.
Exactly.
And it's got that little bit of key turning at the ends
Yep.
of it. Just a little bit in there. But then the rest of it is just beautiful.
It's almost entirely acoustic on that one, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful, definitely. But then you get to something like
Like
synchronism, and I'm
synchronism.
like, yeah, exactly,
I
exactly.
love
And I'm sitting here
synchronism.
like,
That
that
song's
one's
cool
good.
too.
Listen, I was just sitting here like, jeez, this goes, okay.
It's a great song.
It's good.
Those are
I definitely like his style, even if I'm not the
Mhm.
electronic music guy. Yeah,
yeah,
this
exactly.
goes.
Like I'm not super into electronic music, but when it's
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I like this
When
song.
it's I, it goes.
Yeah.
It goes kind
Mm-hmm.
of hard.
Because he
Love
knows how to
Lethal, that
bring it.
one went.
Because
Yes.
he's very familiar with the beeps and boops because
Mm.
he a robot.
He would be, wouldn't he? That feels awful. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the anime, he almost like runs out of damn full charge.
No,
Because,
he does. He
like,
literally out there in the rain. Like,
That was him overheating.
yeah,
why is he out there in the rain?
He's trying to understand something.
because he a robot, he don't know human things
Oh my
yet,
god.
and then he
Bro, you were
learned
about to
human
short
thing at the end.
circuit.
Mhm.
Yeah, he need input.
Not directly into that motherboard. I know he don't.
But yeah, I definitely think his music definitely fits. Being a robot aside,
it's grown, it's fit, and it's good.
Yes. Like he's showing a little bit of humanity at the same time.
yeah.
Exactly. Especially with those lyrics.
Yeah.
All right, calm you.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Oh, Mimi, yeah, Mimi's. I was gonna say Mimi's in the chat. You gotta make sure.
I know Mimi got. If nobody else got me, I know Mimi.
We've got
me.
Mimi's
If
attention.
nobody else got me, nobody else. All right. I gotta tone it down for this one. I promise I'm toning it down for this one.
Okay.
I really do promise. I'm toning it down for this one right now. This guy is sick and twisted. What they did to his music was sick and twisted. I think it's really just sick and twisted that they sat there and actually catered to every single one of my musical interests without actually doing the visual K aspect. I think that's really sick and twisted. They had to sit there and pick my favorite instrument, make this guy look like that, make this guy act like that. What did they do that for? They literally keep adding a harpsichord in like every other song. Now, what did they do that for? They have to really drive the point home that this guy is like literally perfect and also like trying to come off as soulless. He's not. And that is just bonkers to me. You can definitely reflect a lot about a person or a character in music and whatnot, but I think that's just bonkers, like how well they were able to get that one. I think something happened in that studio that I will never be privy to. But whatever happened changed the trajectory of my life forever. Thank you, Mimi. Thank you, Mimi.
Well, because I think because when you look at Camus and once you learn like, oh, he's like a foreigner, like in the group.
And they have
like,
to do it.
He's like clearly like a European guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, he's like, got the long hair. He looks like he could have lived in like, the 17 or 1800s.
Literally.
Like he stepped out of a time machine with his cello, and he's gonna
just came out of a carriage with 4 black horses.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's gonna take you, and he might be a vampire possibly,
Oh boy.
You might die, but
Yeah, or he might pull a Sebastian and be a
oh
demon.
lord.
But like, you know,
But you're gonna enjoy it.
yeah, like
Oh boy.
Camus stands really get like that, you know, classic European like
It's specifically a vibe.
vibe, yeah.
It is such a specific vibe. And it's like genuinely bewildering to me why they had to do that to us.
But
Why
then
they had to do
like
that to us.
but then you'll see like his you know, Mimi's
Exactly.
profile picture, like you can see this man wearing like modern
Exactly.
glasses and you're like, oh yeah, I get it.
And yet he's still every single assignment he understands, but he doesn't give a shit about it.
Like,
He's just that good. He doesn't give a shit about it.
and the guy
And
literally
yet,
sings a duet with himself.
Yeah. Not
why
many
they
people
gotta
can
do
do
this
that.
to him? Why they gotta do this to me?
I don't know, maybe they're trying to just show versatility or something. 'Cause, I mean, that was with the whole, I don't know what to call the whole thing, but when he did Melting of Snow, weren't they all like changing their genres a little bit?
It feels like it was a little bit, but with that being said, I'm also gonna say I don't know the game lore for him specifically. I just know that he has like family issues on top of family issues. There's definitely layers to this guy that I personally have no fucking clue about. I'll figure it out one day,
Yeah.
maybe. But I feel like I'm missing a lot of context for a lot of that specifically. But Jesus Christ. This guy's discography goes.
Yes.
I can't
Melting
literally melting a
snow.
snow. What? Oh,
Melting
melting
of
snow.
snow.
Yeah, that's such a good. I love that song. That's like one of the Camus songs that I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like listening to this on repeat because it's just
Yeah.
like so
There's
fun,
an
and then you're just like,
exactly.
wow, this is a Camus song. Like what?
The
It's
entire
unusually
thing on
cheerful.
such a low register. Thank God for Camus. I'm normal though, I promise.
Yeah, we all say that.
I'm not a Hakoshi, but I say on every single slide here.
I know, right?
This is all I have to say today. I'm not even joking on this one.
Oh my god.
I'm not even joking. Like, I probably would have believed you. I probably would have just gone back to doing whatever I was doing.
Okay, well, thank God they aren't because
Thank God they aren't, but like if you had shown me zero context on like anything, like before I even knew what that was, yeah, I would have believed you. I would have just gone on with my business. And I think that's speaking volumes as of right now. However, because we have absolutely no context on these dudes, I will say their discography kind of goes. It kind of really goes.
I feel like their songs don't really have like at least their group songs don't really have like a specific like sound to them for me. Like how
They change it up.
like
every
I can
time.
tell what's a Starish song and what's a Quartet Night song.
Mm-hmm.
But like with Heavens, it's really hard for me to be like, oh yeah, that's a
pin that
Heavens
down
song.
either.
Like it's very difficult because their songs don't really, at least to me, don't have like a specific sound to them.
Right.
Well, I don't know about all their songs, but like Immortal Inferno has that deep organ sound to it. I don't know if that's just for the Inferno element, but it kind of feels like they feel like a slightly darker version of Starish.
Mm-hmm. It's in a way to antagonize them, I think, in the narrative for that specific sort of.
Well, yeah, they
section.
literally came back with 4 extra members just to challenge Starish.
Literally. But then, like, later on, then you get, like, to Majulip Kingdom and whatnot, and it's like, they're all buddies. And even though I definitely have thoughts about that as well, that I will not be going into right now. However.
Same.
I mean, you can later if you want.
We most certainly can later, but not at this current juncture.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now I'm talking about the vibes of the music and the music goes.
Yeah, we're keeping things positive at the moment.
Right, the vibes go.
Positive vibes only.
For now.
For now. Until we get to the new.
Yep.
With that being said, next on the agenda, some eras I think should be discussed, and I'm gonna need some audience participation for this one.
Ooh.
Because I definitely think that a lot of these eras changed a lot of people just generally. I think that we all probably definitely have very strong opinions on some of these eras as well, between both the games and the anime.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know everybody's thoughts. I think that would be delightful. That's the slide for the thoughts. What are you guys' thoughts? I'm gonna start with Maji Love 1000% for this one. I should have started at repeat, but I feel as though a lot of the Western fandom did get into it with the anime to begin with, if not Shining Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally think now I like it. It's the most nostalgic for me. A lot of the songs from there are still some of my favorite. Huh?
Is the slide supposed to be blank?
Yeah, it's supposed to be blank.
Oh, okay.
That was just okay. We're talking about our thoughts now.
Oh, okay, I was
because my mind empty.
Like, no. I was just like, wait, is it? Did it?
No, it is supposed to be blank. It is. Sorry.
Sorry. Continue.
No,
it is
right.
what it is.
I will say, it definitely still has some of my favorite songs. Like some of those songs you cannot erase from my memory, even if you try.
Yeah.
And it's just like you don't not sing along to some of those. It just is. These are just knocking on the mind.
Oh.
There's something so wrong with that song because every single time, if I hear like a specific chord on the piano, like in any song, no matter what, immediately I'm just like knocking on my, and I'm like,
it's a good song.
It just does that to people. What did they do? I'm bewitched.
Yeah.
My God.
Like the songs were simpler back then. Everybody was just finding their footing.
Exactly. They were just living their lives. It was literally just a high school drama.
Being simple and pure and
exactly
good boys.
I should have. It is what it is.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Like that song specifically, like I don't know what it is, but sometimes like when you're just kind of like doing something and like a song comes in your head, that's one of the songs.
It's
one
of them.
Yeah, that's a song that'll like pop in my head randomly sometimes. And I don't even know my still stand, but like
no, exactly. Like it went.
If you, I'll have to see what other songs you put on here.
Brand New Melody does it to me.
That are
sometimes
there.
out of nowhere. Brand New Melody.
Yeah, that one too.
That was definitely Baby Boy getting started.
Literally, but it's so good though. Like, I'll talk about it later. I have a slide for that one specifically because it does something.
Yay.
Are we good with this era? We moving on to the next era?
Yeah. Good.
All right, 2000%. And what was the game that went with the B-sides? It wasn't repeat. I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. I'll remember at some point.
2000%.
2000% was really, it was a time. It was a time to be alive.
It's because like yeah. See, now you said that, and now I'm thinking about the newest Fall Out Boy album because there's a song with that title on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a good song. Anyway, like, yeah, 2000%, much like 1000%, I feel like you can't experience the first time seeing and listening to 2000% for the first time ever again, which sucks because I think I remember, like, the first time I saw it, I was like 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 something inside of me just like came alive or something. But maybe it's because of the visuals.
It might be also the visuals, but also just the story that goes with it.
I really love that song. That's like one of my favorite Stars songs.
Right.
Oh yeah, My Little Girl. My God.
Yes.
Yo.
That was like quintessential beauty for him.
I think I also prefer the 2000% albums over the 1000%.
Yeah.
Honestly, and that's fair, definitely. I think that 1000% is just like, it's that nostalgia album, you feel? Like, you listen to that one for like, man, I miss this. And then you listen to 2000%, like, man, this goes hard. You feel?
Yeah.
Not to sound like a Natsuki, but...
Hey, if you got it, embrace
it. Yell also went.
I like that song too.
Listen. I have a song.
Love that one.
Sound on Discord that sometimes, if I need to be a little bit insane, I'll just play that one, and it's just that little lucky happy.
Yeah. That's one song. Okay, so like the intro to that song, I always think about that.
Oh my
so
gosh.
Good. He did what he needed to do.
Like the music, the instrumental intro to that.
But even the live performance, he's dancing around like it's so
exactly.
happy.
He's just so silly. I love Nazi so much. Sorry for bringing him up again. It's not my fault.
Hey, don't be sorry.
Oh, can I do it again? I won't.
Let's see. Yeah,
we literally.
Yeah,
literally.
Koi Sakura is one of my favorite Utapri. Well, we talked about it. I told you guys last show or last episode. I read you the list that I had made an old video on my YouTube. Koi Sakura is one of the songs on there. Of like my top 10 anime only, like, or anime featured like Utapri songs. That song is one of them. Because it's so epic.
They literally the live performance for that one
at the same time.
The live performance for that one specifically.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that was so insane to me.
And now I'm like,
damn, you just got me thinking of that scene from the anime with Tokia and the kimono.
Yeah, that live performance, I'm like, damn, I'm really watching like a drama here.
No, exactly.
Stage.
Like,
yes.
It was that good. They did what they needed to do.
Like, he knew what he needed to do, and he brung it.
Exactly. Understood the assignment.
Or as the kids on the TikTok say now, he ate.
I mean, listen.
Like saying, okay, you gotta do this. He's like, got it.
He did what he needs to do to get his check. And do you know what he did with that check?
He cashed it.
He ate.
He ate. He ate. Let him cook.
Listen.
Let him cook, guys.
He was
like
cooking.
the meme.
Oh boy.
Every single time somebody says, I think of the Thanos one, what was he cooking?
What was he cooking? A good song.
Exactly. I'm gonna move on to Revolutions for this one.
Okay, Revolutions, in terms of the like Star songs, not my favorite. Probably like close to the bottom.
That's fair.
I do. The one thing I do like about that song is the instrumental parts where they add 1000 and 2000% in there.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that part.
I love it every time they do that in a group song.
Yeah, or when they put Welcome to Utapri World.
Yes.
Group song. I love
that one hurts me so bad because that one was a game only one at first.
Yes.
And I was like, you know?
Oh, but speaking of Revolution songs, thank you. First time I heard that, I'm like, they really love her. That's, oh my gosh.
Yeah, all those group songs where they're like they have to like sing to her, and it's always like a thank you or like they're showing appreciation. Those songs, I love those ones too. Those are
in that instance, they thought they were losing her to quartet night, and
Yeah,
I get
those
that,
are-
but it's like you see how much they really care about her.
those are the songs that like I won't lie to you guys. When I'm driving in my car, if that song comes on, I imagine them singing it to me and I start crying. I'm just like, yeah,
Oh
man.
yes,
This is the
This
only
song's
way
so good.
I cried when I
visualize
first
Utapri
heard
song.
it. My gosh.
That's the only way I think you have to listen to a Utapri song, though. Like,
What,
if you're
in
gonna
the
listen
car?
to Utapri, like, if you're not being transported to another world for the duration of those 3 minutes 45 seconds, then what are you doing? Jack shit, clearly. I mean, but then again, that's just me, like how I listen to music. I guess is just like, man, this really is a visceral feeling. What a great day today is. All right, I'm gonna move on for this one. Y'all already know what it is. How we feeling?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Great. I'm missing an era. Hold up. Legend Star.
Legend Star.
So okay, so this is the one I most recently rewatched. Like the season of the anime. And I will say I like that song, like Legend Star specifically. Like it's good. But I don't get why was that the ending song when We Are Stars is like the song that they sing?
Literally.
Because, like it's like why did they change it?
I don't even know what the reasoning behind that would have been. I don't know.
But well, I mean then we got the duets in
Yeah.
Legend Star, which I will say out of because I only own 2 of the duet CDs. But those solo songs on those CDs, amazing.
Invariably delicious. Those solo songs were invariably good.
Like, y'all, have you listened to Von's solo, My Cutie? Oh my god.
Yes, I have. I get that thing stuck in my head every other day.
That song is so good. I love that
Like,
song.
I sit here, every single day I say, I'm not a Hakoshi. And then what is going on? What is going on with my little brain radio? Because clearly it wants me to be.
Lovely Eyes was a good song.
Yeah, I love that duet. I love Mighty Aura too. And I really like
that one goes.
Justice Impulse.
That song is fun. But one of the things I'm like, okay, but like, how can y'all still sing this while you're flying in the air and
man
beating the shit out of
That's Shimono's thing lately.
They're professionals.
I suppose.
They'll do what they need to do.
He enjoys it, and I'm just like,
I would probably like start crying. I'd be in the air. I'd just be like, oh, I'll see y'all in the next life, I guess.
You couldn't pay me $1 million to get in the air like that. No way. I hate heights. More than show does. And also, it's Ultia in the games, I believe. But no, I hate heights more than that. Like, I only feel safe.
I definitely would not do that if I were him.
Yeah, I only feel safe in an airplane, and that's only because it's like, well, I'm kind of forced to travel in an airplane, so.
And you don't have to look out the window. If I see it, then I'm, like, then it's messing me up. But if I don't see it, then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was still, as far as aerial stunts, it was still, I think it was worse for me than Tenka Muteki Shinobi. That I could have handled.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, all they were doing was just swinging around.
Right. It wasn't too bad for that one.
Yeah,
I still would have been. Like, heights is heights.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be absolutely bonkers about it. I think we've covered all of them that I have tried to cover today. All right. Once again, completely subjective. I'm one of those people who likes high energy bangers. I do apologize. I'm just gonna list one off for the one for each character, basically.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah. Yes. Well, let's begin. I'm going to try to keep it as real as possible. However, once again, completely subjective. What can I say, guys?
Yeah.
He's literally just the Genki blueprint. You can't beat this. This was it.
Right.
We peaked. Sometimes it just gets stuck in my head, like out of nowhere sometimes. And I'm just like, man, this is like, it feels almost a little bit slightly generic, but that's the best part to me. It's like, man, because it was what started that sort of genericness later on. Like, he got it.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the beginning of it all. Thank you for your service.
Like, next assignment.
All right. This one goes, I'm sorry.
Interesting.
The disco? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
That's an interesting choice for
I
Tokia's
love it.
solo.
Listen, I will say, it definitely is probably the nostalgia for me as well, simply because, once again, I did get started with Shining Life. And so I listened to this, I'm like, oh, this really goes. Like, this was my first introduction. And I was like, I didn't know it was a game-only song at first, so I was like, man, okay.
Yeah.
It was good. It was delightful. It was delicious.
I do like that song too.
It's a great song. The funky little, okay.
Yeah.
I see you. If anything has like a little bit of funk to it, then yeah, immediately I'm
a little bit of funk, a little bit of dancey dance.
Exactly. If I feel like I can go to the disco in this one, like, okay. All right.
Yeah, it definitely has like you definitely feel like a Cinderella moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. The whole shall we dance bit.
Yeah.
Exactly. The performance for this, delightful.
Oh.
Once again, I have a whole like several paragraphs with this guy.
We were just on this one.
I know. I do not own the entire discography, but the way that I have the second most songs. I have the most songs of Not Steve, but I don't have all of them for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost do.
I like how you put the line. That did you in. That's great.
How else do you listen to this song? Like, when you hear this song, when you hear Knocking on the Mind, immediately you're just in your mind. You might not be saying it out loud.
You instantly start humming part of it.
Exactly. Immediately,
it's that song.
Exactly. He's that bitch. This was a serve and a half. I actually had a really hard time choosing.
He's like, you have your assignment, sing a song, dude knocked it out of the park.
Exactly. For years to come.
Oh, God, yes.
This was actually an incredibly difficult decision, though, because I was literally going to pick either Stay With, Shinaru Senritsu wa Sayai wo Utau, or this one specifically. So. But this one won. It always will. Unless they come out with something that's better than Knocking on the Mind, which clearly they haven't yet.
Well, I would have gone with Night No Kiss because it's the same smooth element of Knocking on the Mind, just ups it an extra level.
I see what you're saying. I don't know. At that point, it's just a personal preference for that one.
I would say, like I said in my list, like Koizakura or Most Fortissimo.
I was thinking of Koizakura, but like, once again, when I was doing these slides specifically, I was like trying to go through all of them, like, okay, which one do I like the most? Which one do I really like the most? Like, which one? And I usually try to justify it by which one can I do a little dancey dance to? And I couldn't justify it with this. I couldn't do it that way. This one just is the one. I could listen to this like all day, every day. I could listen to this before I go into work and like be completely fine for the rest of the day.
You could even like use the
that is?
instrumental version as like a lullaby or something.
Exactly. This is universal. This is versatile. This is just the blueprint.
Okay, Vitamin String Quartet. When are you gonna cover Utapri songs?
Literally. Like, can we get a Knocking on the Mind cover?
Yes.
All right, let me move on before I go off. I hate to say it. This one really
I love this song. This song is so great.
I don't know what they put in this song. I don't know what kind of formula they are using, but they need to lay the fuck off the Chemical X because listen.
Isn't this one of his longest songs?
Yes. Yeah. And usually I don't like listening to very long form songs to begin with because once again, I got a short attention span. Exactly. But when you get to that chorus, something happens. The entire physical pressure in the air, that you now have a weight on your shoulders that you can no longer can bear. I don't know why that happens. It's how they did that.
Picture this, if you will, with this song. Him sitting on a stool singing it in one of those dark nightclubs.
Cabaret.
Yes.
Exactly. Precisely.
Yeah. Sit it down, little fedora, maybe a rose in one hand. Yeah.
But that bridge.
Boy knows how to deliver romance.
The bridge is what truly has me like fucked up. When they get to that bridge, the little feedback. God can't save me now. When I said that felt like a physical weight when you get to the chorus.
Right now.
I want to listen to it right now. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to y'all. But oh my god.
Not at the moment, but
not at the moment. After I get
well, you know what I mean? Like
we're going to be doing a thing or two.
Well, like once we end this live, I'm going to go listen to this song.
We need a listening session after this.
I feel like all of us are just going to binge Utapri music.
No, exactly.
Damn you, Broccoli, for copyright claiming all the shit that has like all the good songs on there.
Literally, because I would have been in here.
Song lives rent free in our heads.
Exactly.
And that's why he keeps writing this stuff.
They need to take that away from him, but absolutely not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody. Dizzy Glow got me. The funk guitar got me. Whatever they did in the beginning, that got me. That got me severely. Just the funky everything. How could you do that to me? I actually went out and bought this one like almost immediately after hearing it the first time. It was good. It was good. What are they putting in these songs? It's a little bit more than Chemical X at this point.
It's crack. I don't know.
It's Chemical X.
That's what I'm saying. Like, like, come on. Now it's playing in my head. I need them to stop doing this. I need to like not look at these slides at this point. I'm not going to make a monologue out of this. However,
that song is like just the right amount of upbeat and slow. Like they found that right in the middle spot.
They found the golden BPM.
Oh, yes.
They did exactly what they needed to do for him. This is like the kind of song that I feel like perfectly finds happy medium between his earlier songs and, you know, the later ones that he definitely wants to be able to sing.
And it definitely yes. And it definitely works with his vibrato.
Exactly. Like sometimes you have some of those songs and it's like, you didn't need the vibrato there. I love you, but you didn't need the vibrato there. But this one?
He had it. He brought it. It did its thing.
He did what he needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
He did what he needed to do. He got into that studio, he made magic happen, and there it went. Released into the public. Should have been #1 on those Orion charts. However.
And brought it back for round 2.
Literally. I'm so sick about this song. I'm going to listen to this after I leave. Once again, Destiny's
Hell
song.
Yeah! Hell
I have
yeah.
so much written here for a reason.
Best Cecil song.
It just is. No, because literally, like, once again, I said all what I needed to say about the earlier songs to begin with. However, once again, like I said, I did start with Shining Live, but when I heard Destiny's song, that was it for me. Like, that had been my favorite song since, like, the very beginning.
Like,
I got the Destiny, boom.
This is one of those songs where, like, when I played Shining Live, RP, whenever there was, like, a Cecil event, it's like, okay, I'm going to play the event. I would always, like, want this song to be in there, because I, like, got really good at playing this song, because I liked it so much.
Exactly. Oh my god, I was so sick about, doing the levels and whatnot, because unfortunately, I was a former music major. This also means that if I don't understand every single beat that happens in this song, then I'm going to. I will. So eventually I get to that master level, right?
Yeah.
And eventually, I get the full combo and I'm like, man, there's something wrong with me today, huh? And I leave it at that. But the way that I sat there, I played it that many times just to be like, man, this song goes, but I need to understand it viscerally.
Honey, you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to understand that one.
There's so much going on in it. Every single harmony in that bitch, severe. 100% and knockout. I'm never going to get over that song. I will be 85. I will be on my deathbed, and I'm never going to get over that song. I'm going to literally be having Alzheimer's. I'm going to be like, man, Destiny song went. Everybody around me is going to be like, what the hell are you talking about?
It'll be like
I'm a hobbit.
It'll be like that TikTok meme of like, oh, you're gonna like, it's like you have like however many minutes left to live, and it's like, okay, play Destiny song. But
not exactly.
But that song's however many minutes long, and then death comes and says, I'll wait.
Not exactly. Death is just like, oh, hold up, this is kind of vulgar. Play that one again. And I'll be like, okay, want to listen to the whole discography? Like,
yeah, we'll do that.
Ain't nobody dying for the next several hours. All right.
You'll make death become an Utapri stan.
And I hope he does.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he does. Deserves that kind of respect.
Yeah, because if it does, then he'd be nice to all of us.
No, exactly. Quartet Night moment coming up after these short messages. How are we feeling right now, guys? I'd like to
Don't touch that dial, folks.
And you're watching Disney Channel.
Yes. Oh, back in the nostalgia.
Hi, I'm so-and-so from Utapri, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Yo, that just reminded me. One of my friends, she's currently lives in Japan, so she was telling me about how much Utapri shit she sees on a daily basis, even though the fact she's not even into Utapri. So she's like, every time I see this, I just think of you, bestie. And I'm like, thanks. Don't know whether that's a good thing or not. But she was like, yeah, so I was changing the channel at one point. Like, I just had it on like Cartoon Network for whatever reason, and Utapri came on. I'm sitting here like, they got Utapri on the Cartoon Network.
What?
I was just sitting there like, on the what? On the what? They got him on the what?
I'd be like, one more time for those of us in the back?
No, literally. They let that happen on the Cartoon Network?
Damn, I wish I had their Cartoon Network.
Help!
Right?
You know what? Yeah, you're right. They let
H
do what on the Cartoon Network? That was my first thought, but you know what? I ain't even gonna argue with it. If y'all got that on y'all's Cartoon Network, God bless. Once again, I did say indeed I had an All Right All Night slide. Here it is.
Eh, you weren't kidding.
I wasn't kidding. Listen, at first he was doing, those like literal late Showa era grooves. And then he decided he was going to go into his club bag.
You think you should make house music on the cut?
No, literally. I'm not even joking. I think Reishi should make house music. Go on, Reishi. Go on, bestie.
He should own a club.
I think he should. After this song, I think he should. After this song, I hope he does. Like, how are you going to release that absolute banger?
But he has to play the maracas.
Yeah. Personally, I think my favorite would be maracas. Never.
I like that song too.
That one does.
Actually,
that one really does.
I think my favorite. Well, okay, so I put Never on my list because it was like, it's in the anime. But if I'm honest, my favorite songs of his that are tied for me, it's hard for me to choose. I would say Deki Ai Temptation is like so good.
That it is such a classic.
Oh, that's definitely one of his danciest songs.
Mm-hmm. That one is tied with what's it called? What's the other one that I like? The Crazy Holic one, that one.
I know which one you're talking about.
On Your Marks, that's what it's called.
Yes.
That one. I think those two are like tied for me as like my.
It was actually very difficult for me to pick this one as well, because I wanted something that still had, that kind of funk vibe that he had before. Right. However, I was just listening to this at work and in the break room, and I'm just like, man,
he does not have a song that sucks.
Exactly. You gonna live your life like that? Zero losses? Like,
he's got the energy. He might as well bring it.
Fair enough. I appreciate that he did.
Yeah.
I'm not a Hako Shiba.
I was like, you didn't have to bring that hard, but we are happy that you did.
Exactly. Once again, I will say absolutely. It was a little EDM for this one, but it won.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're putting in these. I know exactly what they're putting on the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Crack.
Yeah, like I said, they're putting crack in their music because
no, exactly.
We keep coming back for more.
Literally. What do they do?
Justice to like, what's your favorite upbeat song and what's your favorite slow number for?
I probably should have adjusted it for that because once again, I'm so incredibly biased to things that are just a little bit, upbeat, a little bit dancey.
Right.
Simply because, like, I don't know, it gets to me. It
makes
good.
You feel good.
Exactly. They're feel good songs.
Right.
Once again, I am extremely biased, but
then every once in a while, you need that slow number to cool your jets down.
Knocking on the Mind is there for a good reason.
Yeah. And for I think AI is that song.
It is. It most certainly is.
Like, it's simple, it's sweet, it keeps coming back around.
Exactly. When they get to that bridge, somebody started crying during that little bridge. It wasn't me, though. Sorry. It was me.
It was a beautiful performance, though.
It is. It was.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. I actually have nothing left to say about it other than rock at this point. Like, you actually just have to go out and listen to this song. If you haven't heard this song, I'm pretty sure everybody in the audience has heard this song. But if you haven't heard this song, go listen to this song right the fuck now. The atmosphere in the air changes a little bit. I promise you. Something happens.
I remember this from the Quartet Night specific episode of Quiz Pre. It was like, guess this song, and as soon as he heard the words "Go to Hell," he's like, "Yep, I know this."
Yeah.
He's like,
because that's where it was. Not at the very beginning.
Huh?
Did they have like the beginning of the
Yeah, they played it from the very beginning, and once it got up to that line, he's like, yeah, got it.
But it took
because for a second he thought it might have been another song that has a similar start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, once you hear that, you're like, yep, this is the one.
No, exactly. Because who else is gonna say it?
By the way, you mentioned Quizpree. I just want to remind everybody, if y'all can find where I can watch Quizpree, please send me links.
Well, that's a difficult thing because I've satisfied myself with clips from YouTube, and not all of them are subbed.
Fair enough. In comparison, we have a whole essay. Once again, I do apologize.
I'm waiting
to the audience for this.
I'm waiting to see what Mimi has to say.
No, literally, because I feel like me and Mimi have talked about this one already, and I'll talk about it again no matter what. I'll say everything I needed to say again.
Yep.
This is just it. This is just it. Like, everything that needs to be said is indeed here. However, I will go ahead and say it again once again, whatever the hell they laced it with, because this is more than crack. This is crack chemical X. I don't know what they had to lace this one with. But every single day I am trapped. I am held hostage by this song. If this song comes on shuffle, I am once again trapped.
Oh,
it's bonkers. It's this song leaves you guessing even after you listen to it 520 times. What did they didn't need to do this. They had that little, like the little tiny drum that they have, when in those old historical movies. And they got that little tiny drum, the little drummer boy or whatever, doing whatever he's doing right before they go out into a little war. Whatever they put that drum in there for, I don't know. But they need to do it again. When they changed to a literal bossa nova beat on the last chorus, I don't know why they did that, but they did right. What did they do that for?
Because they know
everything about
that's exactly why. Like, why did they do it? That's why. There is no answer.
Like, it was just right. Whatever happened in the studio when they were making this one, God bless.
Mm-hmm.
They cooked.
Let them cook.
I will let them cook again. In fact, my compliments to the chef. Can I get another?
Make it a double.
Exactly. It's just, this is the song of all time for me, for Cameo, at least. I'm so sick of this song, and yet here I am. I'm going to leave this call, and once again, we're going to talk about all those songs that we just talked about. I'm going to put this one on repeat another 5 times. I'm not free. Heaven Slide, because I actually do like Heavens, but they got 0 lore.
Right.
I just think these songs were really neat. Yoyami's Secret Moon did something severe, and I don't know why they put that song in there, because that is probably the one song that you put in Utapri that I cannot instantly tell is Utapri. I would have guessed it was literally from 2001. But it's very good, and that's like just what happened. Like, something happened. I forgot who composed that one specifically, but something severe happened. Like, somebody in that studio had like a spiritual moment or whatever, and they released that, and I was like, man. I forgot how to read for a second. Omagatoki Mai, Mare, that one was good. That one was also very good. I don't like it for any other reason than it bops. It bops. I would recommend it to everyone. Please get yourself a bop. Lyrical poetry, I just like because Shiona Makusa is absolutely hilarious as a character. I think that he should do more of whatever the hell he's doing. All right. Drop your face songs, everybody.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry, putting y'all on the spot.
I was like, narrow the field a little bit.
Okay. Let me narrow it down a little bit. What's your favorite recent one? And when I say recent, I mean within the past 3-ish years.
Ugh.
Let me give it 5 because they haven't really released a whole lot.
Okay, hold on. I gotta scroll on my phone to see what I have on my phone.
I feel it.
Thinking back to the games.
Thinking back to the games.
Right. I think the most recent ones I added to my collection were I don't even know what to call all of them, but Quartet Nights stuff, the Idol song.
Those were all like good though. That's the thing. All of those.
Oh, yeah.
Star Wish was so good.
Star Wish is so good.
Oh my gosh, yes. Now
Star Wish did something.
You know what?
Yeah, Star Wish, Quartet Crown, all that.
Quartet Crown did something that I'm not even going to say.
Yeah, I think we all know what that is.
Now what I'm gonna do?
What did they do that for?
Now what I'm gonna do when this is over is I'm gonna watch the 7th stage and I'm gonna watch when they do Star Wish.
Oh my god!
Because that live performance
brought that extra element that we didn't know we needed.
That live performance and the way they edited, like the camera work and everything, is so good.
Listen, if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna stream Star Wish, let me know. I want to be there just to see Star Wish.
That would be something.
Star Wish, man. They went off. They did what they needed to do.
Yes.
All right. Any questions?
Let's see. More comments.
Star Wish did make everyone go feral.
Everyone go feral, yes.
Could easily say the
I love Black Deja Vu.
I actually was going to add another couple of slides on the group songs, and I'm so sorry that I did not.
Oh.
But Black Deja Vu and White Gravity were on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Black Deja Vu did something to everybody in Utapri that I just think nobody has recovered from. Nobody will recover from.
Yes.
That's definitely a more like recent song that I would say is one that I like.
Up to the Limit.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that night song.
Every song from Star Wars Tours. Yeah, I would say
the Love Affair songs.
Like fresh, you know?
Listen.
Joker Trap.
Stop, Mimi. I had Joker Trap on that one too.
I love Joker Trap. Listen, Licorice no Mori.
Yes.
Hello. Licorice no Mori is like one of my favorites.
Oh yes.
Perfect Story.
I love those.
And you know what? That's saying something. Mimi, stop. You're catering to me.
That's what she did.
Help PTSD from Black Deja Vu. You know what? I get it. Because how are they going to drop that? Like I said, for some of those other songs that did indeed put a literal weight in the atmosphere, I think that Black Deja Vu also did that. Whatever that little sound is I know that's something being reversed. I just have no clue what it is.
It goes pretty hard for a song with Otoya in part of it.
No, literally. And like every single time they do group songs like that, I'm trying to figure out, what do these guys have in common that they are all in this absolutely dark ass song for? What I realized is
this is the more of them we haven't seen.
Right. What I realized, I think they just put the ones that have the jewel tones in there and the ones that have the lighter tones of White Gravity, and I'm not.
But then let's not forget Night Dream and Daydream.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was literally just warm colors, cool colors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Night Dream is my favorite out of those two.
It went.
Let's see. Okay. I'm looking. I'm looking at my my phone. Crystal Time.
Crystal Time.
Yes.
Crystal Time.
That was just a nice one.
It just goes. Once again, Mamoru Miyano doing his Mamoru Miyano thing.
On that note, Target Is You, Tokino Jewel.
Oh yeah,
agreed.
Both of those songs
Target
are
Is
amazing.
You.
Yeah, from the solo best.
Mm-hmm.
I would say another Tokyo song. Well, Secret Lover, Independence. Every Tokyo song.
Oh God,
every Tokyo song in the book.
Hell yeah!
That's another chance for Mamoru to show off his sex appeal.
You know what? Every single concert, every single one. You don't gotta do that. That's a choice.
See, I already said Kaleidoscope.
Because it's good.
Light Night or Starlight Star Night.
Mm-hmm.
From Cecil, I like that song.
Yes.
1000%.
Always.
You know, I actually really like Ren's Mellow Choo Choo. I like that song.
I love that one.
It has to grow on me. That one has to grow on me.
Oh, you know which one I really like? Mirai Chizu.
Yes.
Most Fortissimo. My Little Girl. Nanairo no Compass.
Oh, always.
Is like one of my favorite Tokyo songs.
I feel like that one's a quintessential.
Never. Original Resonance.
Always.
Only One. Trying to see what else I have on here. I actually really like Saintly. I actually really like Saintly Territory also.
Because it's good.
And Sanctuary. It's a Masato song. Spirit Lover, of course.
Yes.
Believe Heart is good too. That's a Ren song I like.
That one was also very. I actually did almost put that one as my favorite Ren song.
Like? Komore B Diamond.
Oh,
stop
yeah,
that one! It gets stuck in my head all the time. So that chorus gets stuck on my head.
Oh my god!
The time I will literally just be doing what I'm doing at work, and I'll just be like, bruh.
His
Stop
solo from Legend.
Mind.
His solo from Legend Star, Brilliant Days.
Just man.
That song is cute too. Up Down Up, I like that one too.
Oh,
that one has to grow on me. I'll say that one. Yeah.
That was like the first one I heard, and that just stuck.
Really?
Yeah. Anything with Shota Ai, I'll give it a go.
Fair enough.
Of course, like Lovely Eyes. Ultra Blast.
Every time Ultra Blast comes on shuffle, I'm just like, man, hold up, everybody, hold up, and I got to do a little dance, and I got to sit back down.
Oh, yes. Hello, Give Me True Love. Hello. I actually really like Red Hot Love Mines too.
'Cause it goes.
Yeah. Let's see. What have I not said? Oh, Be the Light.
The entire Tokyo discography.
Yeah, every Tokyo song.
Yeah.
2000%.
Always.
What's it called? The symphony one, the Starish one.
Oh,
I know which one you're talking about.
Symphony.
Yeah, that one.
That one's a good one too.
I love that one.
Especially from the episode we shall not mention.
Oh yeah.
that one just made me cry. And it never did before.
Okay, let's see what the chat was saying while we were talking.
Somebody mentioned Clap Hands.
Let's see, Ready Steady Race.
Stop. Ready Steady Race went. I think that you know what?
Kind of Dearest is good too. I also really like that. Haruhana.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The Quartet Night songs, I think, invariably are really good.
I like Killer Kiss too.
They don't have enough of those duet songs.
Dream Tale.
I actually was gonna use Dream Tale for the Ren one, but I did not use that specifically because something happened.
Mimi says Bloody Dream from the Bloody Shadows stage play.
Oh my gosh, I love Bloody Shadows.
Mimi, I was this close to putting some of the stage play songs on here as well. I was so close to doing that, and I'm so sorry that I didn't, because I feel like that becomes an affront to you specifically.
Clap Hands.
Yes.
Wanna Be Diamond, Moon Rain. Thinking of Sixth Stage again. I know, same though. Fly to the Future.
Oh,
Fly
yes.
to the Quartet Night song specifically.
Pam says Fantastic Prelude. That one's good too.
Agreed.
Underrated Quartet Night songs. Kizuna.
Oh, I like
Agreed.
Kizuna.
Yes.
Shining Romance, but the anniversary rearrangement.
You know what? I actually like the anniversary rearrangement a little bit more, simply
Evolution
because
Eve.
It's just got a vibe.
Yeah, Yume Olibito no Symphony. Yeah, we said that one. Mm-hmm. The World Is Mine.
The World Is Mine is just, it's a banger, period. I actually have something so specific to say about The World Is Mine, and I need you guys to y'all have to listen to this one like right after we leave, because I realized way after listening to it for the first time that what they did with the mastering was they separated 2 of the voices for the left ear and 2 of the voices for the right ear on the acapella sections.
Ah.
And it took me a while to like be like, hold up, deadass? Like, am I really hearing this right? So I literally sat there with my little headphones and I was like taking one headphone off and I was like, okay.
You're trying to make sure it's not your headphones.
Yeah, exactly. And so it turns out, yeah, they did that on the mastering. And I just think that whoever the hell does the mastering for Utapri deserves a fucking award.
All right, Pam, you read my mind. Godstar. That's my favorite Quartet Night song of all time. I think, personally, I feel like it's the best Quartet Night song ever made. Aurora. No, yeah, Haduhana.
I know which one you're talking about, how that one goes.
Don't Let Me Down.
Mimi would know immediately.
Marriage, and You're My Life.
Marriage goes.
Oh, Starlight
Sometimes
Memories.
I get that one stuck in my head.
Yes. Yes.
Quartet Night songs are just invariably that good.
Yes.
I don't know what they're putting in them. That's a lie. We've been new.
Whew.
All right. Glad to have the audience participating in our favorite songs. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk.
Is that what it was?
That is the end of the slides today. Thank you very much.
Yay! All right.
All right.
Cool. All right.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm off my soapbox.
Thank you, Toll. That was very fun.
I'm glad y'all had fun at least.
Oh crap! I forgot to put this stupid thing at the bottom. Oh well. Oh. Okay. Well, moving on.
If there was ever any doubt what we were talking about.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's a big if right there.
Well, moving on, we do have Utapri news, so I'm going to change the ticker at the bottom to talk about Utapri news because, again, you so graciously, Mimi gathered all this info for me to read. So we're going to talk about the Utapri news that has happened since between the last episode and this episode. So for the past 2 weeks, I'm going to try to go through it not super fast, but you know.
All in due time.
Yes. Okay, so just want you to all know, when Mimi gathers this info, all the dates and times are in the Japanese time.
Right.
So, all right. So, in lighter news, I like how you titled that, Mimi. Okay, so first off, beloved S-class teacher and veteran actor and idol Yuya Hyuga celebrated his birthday on the 15th of May. So,
happy birthday, Yuga!
Hyuga Sensei, happy birthday, belated birthday. Okay. All right, on May 20th, Shining Live launched its 4th installment of its annual spring update. Exact details can be found in-game or on their dedicated website. Again, that's only for the Japanese server of the game now, because RIP the English server. Fuck you, K-Lab, as I usually say in every stream.
I still play the Japanese one.
Yeah.
I would, but then I have to, remember my Japanese iTunes account, and I don't want to do that.
And that's why I got an Android. Because I was like, man, it's hard to do anything on this.
So yeah, there's my regular fuck you Caleb moment of the stream. The Shining Birthday Song CD is now on sale, so you can buy it. You can go to their Twitter, the Utapri _official, and you can find the links, I think. And it debuted in second place on the Oricon Daily CD charts. Excuse me.
I know it did. Let's go.
Congrats.
Number 2. All right.
Shining Live launches a commemorative campaign for the Shining Birthday Song CD release. Again, more details can be found in-game or on Twitter. Good luck translating it in-game, unless you speak Japanese. A gift campaign for oversized cushions is being held from May 24th through June 7th. What makes this particular gift campaign very interesting, however, is that applications are completed not by just following the official Shining Live Twitter, which is normal practice, but also quote retweeting the designated post with the full name of your desired idol and also some feelings or thoughts that you hold in regard for them. And there are 22 possible winners. Will they take English tweets?
Maybe I gotta get a friend to proofread for me.
I would just use Google Translate, TBH.
Fair enough.
And the re-release of the Sanrio Shining Life collaboration merch is now taking pre-orders for a September on-sale date. So, want some Utapri Sanrio merch, or Shining Live Sanrio merch, you can get it again. It'll, again, you can go to Animate, the Japanese version of the site for Animate. Or find a proxy. I don't know. Find someone on Twitter who's selling it. Anyway, who's going to go buy it. Okay, so now what we're going to talk about is like the big thing that's been going on with the past couple days. So bear with me, because this is the first time I'm really reading this information, and I don't really I only skimmed a few tweets earlier today about this, so this is still kind of new information to me, but here we go. And this is important, everybody, because it has to deal with Broccoli, which is, the company that, basically
right,
like the parent company of, just the Utapri series. Anyway, all right, so what happened is the final Broccoli shareholder meeting. So they held their 29th stakeholder meeting on the 26th of this year, May 26th. So yesterday, U.S. time. Or sorry, Japan time. Sorry, yesterday Japan time, because it's the 27th there already. Anyway, so it resulted in much controversy within the Utapri fandom, and here's why. It is believed that around 160 and 270 people were in attendance, and we have a thread by active_CNS_N. You can go to that Twitter and see the thread. But Broccoli as a company has fostered a culture of allowing fans to interact directly with their staff at these meetings to discuss topics outside of just management policies, which is customary in this kind of gathering. Because HappyNet, which is another company, their acquisition of Broccoli as a subsidiary will be happening. This was their final meeting under the Broccoli name, so now it's not going to be Broccoli anymore, technically. It'll be HappyNet. So please keep in mind that the information detailed in this summary are consolidated from various tweets that came from the attendees themselves, and no minutes have been released as of writing this document. As a result, there may be some things that may need clarification or amendment at a later date. In any case, it is believed that Broccoli were expecting to be answering questions regarding the HappyNet acquisition, considering their lack of preparedness, vagueness, and overall lacking responses regarding Dolce Vita, which, as we all know, has taken it's still in what is this, year 7, 8 almost, that they've had this in the works, the new game. Backdoll. Yeah. Which is what people are referring to, or what Mimi has called the Utano Princess Sama stuff, and Utapri as a whole. These subjects took up most of the duration for the meeting. In fact, it is mentioned that only one question regarding the acquisition was asked throughout the entire meeting, which may have been a shareholder asking if Broccoli was intentionally sabotaging themselves so that HappyNet's tender offer could get to 1,500 yen and allow for an easier acquisition. The current president affirms that no such actions were taking place. This would be a good segue to mention that the current president of Broccoli is Shigeki Suzuki, who served as director and senior managing executive office at HappyNet, being appointed back in April of 2022. The chairman and executive director of Broccoli are also previous HappyNet employees. At this time, there is only one female executive on the board, and she is the producer responsible for overseeing the Utapri project. Why?
That's a lot to take in.
We need more women on this fucking board. What the fuck? Anyway, now for what everyone's been waiting for. As supporters of Utano Prince Sama, what do we need to know? Okay, so here we go. Here's the first thing. Dolce Vita is still in development, and Broccoli asserted that it will see a release date. Yeah, okay. They explained that the reason development on the game slowed to a crawl had to do with having few staff members who are well versed in the world of Utano Prince Sama. Maybe did you? It says Utano Princess Sama, but I don't know if that's a typo.
Like princess as in plural or princess?
It says princess, but I don't know if that's a typo. Anyway, I can't change it because she just sent me the link to the Google Doc. Anyway, I'm just gonna say it's a typo and it's supposed to be Prince Sama.
Right.
And now with the expansion of the movie projects Shining Live and Triple S among other things, it has been difficult to allocate resources to Dolce Vita. Okay. The discontinuation of the PS Vita game console also had a huge impact on Dolce Vita's development. Aren't you just like porting all the old games to the Switch?
Mm-hmm.
So like, what the fuck? Why is that a fucking problem? Anyway, Broccoli emphasized that they want to carefully graft a game they feel the fans will be satisfied with, and in essence, don't want to rush things. They also declined to say specifically if there would or would not be new information coming out on the 13th anniversary. Okay, it was a typo. All right. It's been brought to light after the meeting that Broccoli currently has up to 5 different job postings on their site, directly related to Utapri in some capacity, like the hiring of a content director, graphic designer, and staff for scenario direction and writing, among other roles. It's also worth mentioning that historically the writing for the Utapri games have largely been outsourced to other companies. It wasn't until ASAS that the content was produced in-house. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. Here we go. Alright, people. Get ready to be mad. Yes. The title of Utano Princess Sama from Utano Princess Sama back to the idol will not be changed. And that after an internal discussion on the matter, did not see the reason to change it, and stand firm with Agamatsu's vision for the project. They maintained that there will be no crossover between the franchises. When asked exactly what to expect from Bactal and why the severe lack in quality for the recently released videos, the Golden Week series, Broccoli only answered the question in part and said they are making efforts to improve the quality of their videos. So, like, it's like a no answer. Broccoli was also asked why Bactal and Utapri were so similar despite having nothing to do with each other, and they asked if the project had a hand in hindering Utapri's development, and asked if their neglect for female-oriented content despite their enthusiasm towards male-oriented IPs had to do with the lack of women among the executives. They gave no response, of course. When it comes to the mishandling and lack of sufficient stock for event merchandise, Broccoli could only conjure a vague response, stating they will, quote, make efforts to improve the situation, unquote. Broccoli has plans for upcoming birthday celebrations, but would not say exactly what. They also did not have anything to say regarding the apparent discontinuation of the birthday collection series. And then this is just Mimi's little thing at the end. That is as much information as I can remember to include, and I'm unsure if anything was missed, so anyone with more to share, please don't hesitate to correct or add to in the chat or comments. There is much to be said about the acquisition because of HappyNet's apparent limited understanding of Ultimate content and Broccoli's responses in general, but all I can hope as an enthusiast for the franchise that it all turns out for the best. And so there you go, everybody. That's the gist of that.
That's a lot.
That is upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I was unaware of and that's I feel like that's on me as like a consumer, but also like as a as a woman. Like, yeah, I didn't know that there were not very many female like employees there in like.
You would think would be, considering that it did start out as, you know, otome content to begin with. Like the idol content was technically like a secondary portion to what they started out with.
So yeah, that's kind of, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And I also didn't know. I mean, the reason why I didn't know, and I feel like a lot of people didn't know that aren't Japanese or that don't live in Japan, is because we don't have the games localized. So like,
exactly,
I had no idea that like they didn't even write the scenarios and such for the games in house until like later on. Like, you're just outsourcing. Where did you outsource to?
It's a lot to take in, you know.
That matters in a sense, because I do like the story for Utapri, but it's just like if you couldn't do it yourself, why? Like, you have to have a good reason, I feel like.
Right.
And like, because I'm gonna compare that to like, okay, so I work in like the merchandising industry basically, or like uniforms and such. And when we order like promotional products, for the stuff that we can't do in house, of course we're gonna like just have like the supplier that we're ordering from just like do it because they offer those services because it's like in a warehouse or such. But like, sometimes if we know we can do it, like, we just do it. Like, we order the stuff blank or whatever, and then we just we print ourselves or embroider ourselves or whatever. But like, or we find a local place that can make, you know, stickers or whatever, instead of having to like outsource to an overseas company or a company that's in a different state. So it's just like, sure, and also like, I feel like outsourcing costs more. That kind of thing costs more money, not just for you, but like for your customer, like for the consumer. And in this case, you know, I'm comparing it to like, you know, yeah, my client's gonna pay more because they also have to pay shipping because, you know, the thing I'm ordering for them is gonna have to ship from China all the way to like the U.S. and then ship from there to ship to us or whatever, and they're gonna have to pay extra. They need a rush charge, whatever. But like with this, I feel like in terms of like, it's not necessarily like what you're getting as like a player of the game and stuff is like, well, I want a more like sincere product, I guess.
Right. That makes sense.
Not to say that like outsourcing is bad. It's not.
Right. In some situations, it's like kind of the only option, depending on what it is. If you can't like hire a whole other, you know, in some cases outsourcing might be cheaper, but it really heavily depends on like, you know, that specific situation.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the other thing is like outsourcing sometimes is the cheaper option, because you know your people in house are gonna ask for more money. But if you want the quality product, also like, yeah, what you're saying here, Mimi, for scenario writings, now if you broccoli saffron werewolves, yeah, exactly. Like, they have no idea what the fuck Utapri is. Maybe maybe this person's only been working there for like 3 years. What if they didn't play the original games?
Exactly.
Like, they know jack shit.
And I did see, I think it was somebody in the server mentioning that a lot of the April Fool's videos felt like it was the old writing for the games and whatnot. And it made me think, did they do research or did they bring back old writers? Like, what happened in that specific situation? And are we still going to get that for the games? Like, tentative plural, since clearly Dolce Vita is development hell right now. So it's interesting.
It's definitely something that I didn't really think about till just reading it now. But, you know, but that's the other thing is like, I mean, we as overseas fans, we can't really do anything about Dolce Vita because one, they're not going to localize it. They haven't, at least as far as like we know, because one, they haven't localized any of the previous games.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that they localized that was a game you could play is a game that you can't play anymore in English.
Exactly.
And then you have the anime, which again is also kind of in like licensing hell, because like Crunchyroll used to have the streaming rights to it in the US, and now High Dive has the streaming rights, but they don't even have
not to season 3.
They don't even have 4 seasons, and that
season 3 doesn't exist.
it's not fair. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I have to go to a bootleg site to watch season 3 with my friend because I couldn't get it, and also because
none of y'all heard that.
Yeah, you didn't
That's
hear
on the
that.
record.
You didn't hear that. Broccoli, or formerly will be broccoli. Well, because the thing is like I can watch my Blu-rays, right? Like, sure, but like, you know, I want something quick. I can stream it on freaking High Dive. Which also, by the way, High Dive, you need to work on your servers because sometimes that shit was buffering for a good long ass time. Just another reason for me to be annoyed with High Dive. Let's see. So their posted wages is 24,000 yen, which is comparatively very low to similar roles in other companies. How much is that in dollars?
Is that like the yearly salary? That's like,
yeah. Is that
I
like
can't do that in my head right now.
Is that like hourly, or how do they pay people?
That wouldn't be hourly. I don't think that would be. Would it?
That's probably yearly.
Let me get my
How
phone.
do they pay people in Japan? Is it the same? I don't know.
Because that's very low. That just sounds very low to begin with. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, look it up because I'm a dumb. This is how our education system works in the U.S. I don't know anything in math. I'm dumb. This is why I got a liberal arts degree. I only had to take 1 year.
It's the fact that it's variable sometimes.
Okay, they get paid monthly.
Yeah. I was about to say that sounds a little.
So is it 24,000 yen a month?
It's $170
a month.
A month?
That's like not even part-time.
That's less than what I make, and I don't make that much.
Right?
That's 24,000, right?
And I get paid weekly.
Like, I want to make sure the 24,000 was right.
I get paid like 1,200 a month.
Or was it like 240,000?
Give or take.
I want to make sure I'm getting the right one.
$1,200, guys. I make $1,200 a month basically, but I get paid weekly. $170 a month.
Jesus Christ!
How do they? I can't even afford an apartment in the U.S. How the hell do they afford a housing in Japan on $170 a month?
Give me a second.
That's probably that's.
I might be missing a zero. I'm not entirely sure. Because the thing went away, and I was like, okay, 24 is fine. And I'm like, maybe 24 isn't fine.
Well, still, is that like a starting position?
It was the starting, yeah.
Like salary.
Job, if I was missing a zero, it would have been 1,706, which is still relatively low.
Okay. Check the link in the doc. All right, let's see.
Like, it's still pretty low if it's only like $1,706. Like, that's not.
Let's see. I'm gonna Google Translate it.
And that's before taxes. Like,
I clicked the link in the doc. Broccoli. Translate, please, to English. Okay. What does it say?
All of us checking our phones, like.
We want to know.
Like, Broccoli, what are you paying your people?
Yeah, it says 170.63.
Mm-hmm.
Salary increase
it might have
once a year in April. Hey, but you get 2 days off per week. You get summer vacation. You get New Year holiday, paid holiday.
But is it only like 270 or?
Let's see. Where the hell is?
Or is it just 20? Is it like 270 or 27,000?
Where the hell does it say?
24,000.
Oh, monthly salary.
24. Sorry.
Okay, monthly salary. Here's the first one. Monthly salary 240,000 yen.
Okay, so it was 240,000. Okay.
240,000
a month.
Yeah, 240,000. Yeah. So that would be 1,706. But that's still not much.
Damn, that's more than what I make, so never mind.
Oh! A month?
Yeah, a month. If it's a $1,700 something dollars a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I make like $1,200 something dollars a month.
That's fair.
I can't afford to move out, guys. I live in Texas. Okay, the minimum wage in Texas is $7.25. All right.
Jesus.
I make $9.75 an hour.
Jesus.
Yeah, and that's after I got a raise. Last year I made $8.50.
We need to get you out of Texas.
I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, I make more than that at my job.
Good luck with that. You know, good luck. Hey, man, I vote for the people that say they're going to increase wages and then they don't get elected. So I don't know. I'm doing my part. Anyways, okay, so that one is $240,000 a month. That's for a content director. Nice. Graphic designer. Okay, let's see how much these people get paid. The same amount. Okay. Character goods designer, same amount. Monthly salary. Planning, production, operation of trading card games, same amount. Sales of character goods, same amount.
You would still expect that a lot of these really specialized positions would still have a lot more than that, though.
Right.
EC site sales, promotion planning, progress management. Okay, this one is 210,000 yen a month, or it says or more.
That's even less.
These are all like trial periods of 3 months also, apparently. Okay, here's one. Planning and production of Utano Prince Sama goods. This one is also, again, 240,000 a month or more. Planning and production of character goods, content goods of other companies, 240,000 yen or more. Accounting, 230,000 yen or more.
For accounting?
Yeah.
I know, they're lying.
Character license manager, and this would be licensing duties for Utapri. 240,000 yen or more. Web coder, 240,000 yen or more. Really? Coding? Damn. Scenario direction and writing. Scenario direction and writing were for Utsuno Prince Sama. 240,000. Okay, and then that goes to a different office in Ikebukuro. Okay, so yeah, so the ones I just read were the main office.
It's looking a little bleak out here. It's looking a tad bleak.
Interesting. So yeah, that's... Well, if anyone who lives in Japan wants to apply, go for it.
For that
amount? Making $1,700, have $1,700 or so a month in USD.
What the cost of living?
Well, I don't know what the cost of living in Japan is, but
depending on the area,
it might be a job like this in the US.
I'm gonna say, find me a place where the cost of living is worth it.
No, exactly. Because depending on where that office is.
Yeah. And it's already apparently not unusual for adults to still be living with their parents in Japan.
Right. That's fair.
But yeah, normal or not, it still cuts into our egos a little.
Exactly.
Well, that's the other thing is like, okay, are you guys like with these jobs? Is it going to be like with the MAPPA employees who like apparently like because they make every goddamn show now? Like, when will are you going to keep these people working every hour of every day?
Right.
Yeah.
As it seems like
because they really did say like 3-month trial period, so.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing is like, I feel like with jobs here, it's kind of like, well, if you don't suck, they're gonna keep you, and if you follow the rules, they're gonna keep you, like unless you do something, to get fired.
Then what would that be? That's everybody has a different standard.
Mm-hmm. Man. This is a lot to take in today.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting in terms of like, okay, so broccoli is no longer going to be broccoli like by itself. Now it's under a happy net. some of the people that are in charge of Broccoli used to be HappyNet employees. So I don't know.
Which definitely feels a little bit weird.
And then, like, okay, so now that it's going to be owned by another company, or it's going to be like a subsidiary of another company, like,
that
what
definitely feels...
does that mean for, like, Utapri in the future? Like, I don't know. That's kind of scary. I mean, I feel like with Utapri though, like that's a series that, like, if you so much as like even hint that something could mean the end or something, I guarantee you the fans, especially the Japanese fans,
up in arms immediately.
Will, like, you know, I don't know, do something to make sure that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
They'll form a militia or something, I don't know. And then you got the international market, which, again, I don't think they really give a shit about the international market. Obviously, they got rid of the localized game.
Mentioned, at least. And that was, like, a while ago, before the Backpre stuff even, like, showed up. And I think that was, like, right after they shut down the global version of Shining Light. But they did mention, like, you know, they were trying to tweet a little bit in English just so that international fans could kind of understand stuff. And then everything happened with Backpre, so. And that was a whole debacle. And it was mostly Elements Garden and Agematsu who's trying to do that, so. Lots going on there.
It feels like none of it's going to get easy anytime soon.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like I get it. Like, you know, their main priority, obviously, with fans is like the Japanese fans because they're, you know, in country, and like that's where they make most of their money. Obviously, right. Like, you know, you see all these people will buy multiple things. Just to, you know, if it's like a gachapon or something, like they're, you know, I'm gonna buy that stuff till I my boy.
Exactly, that's the difference.
Or like, you know, like we learned last week or last episode, like, you know, some of them get a second job just to buy like that stuff. Like the Japanese fans are like extremely dedicated. Like yeah, they'll have 2 jobs just to supply their Utapri content.
I can't blame them.
Like, yeah, I mean, same. But you know, I feel like if they tried to expand more, with like the international market, like at least can you like at least localize the old games? Like that's all I would want. Like I will pay $60 for each game if you localized it. Like, not for all of them at once in a bundle or anything on my Switch. I will buy each of them individually for $60. If you would just localize them.
That is such a debacle, I think, though, internally with them as well. And it really just depends on whoever the CEO at that time is, who may or may not care. As we just heard, the CEO used to be a HappyNet employee. So that's the part that's getting me the most, that both the CEO and another executive were former HappyNet employees.
Hopefully that's a good thing.
I would hope so, but what's the word? Implication of something a little bit more sinister is definitely there. Which is the part that worries me the most. Like, so you guys just happen to be HappyNet employees and now HappyNet is coming in to acquire the company. Yeah. Just so happened to be.
Well, then that would beg the question, how long ago did they work for HappyNet?
Right. And that I don't have with me, but...
Right.
It does raise a little bit of a red flag regardless.
It's a little sus.
As of right now, it's a tad bit sus. Right. That's
okay,
the part that's making me like unwell though, because if it's ensemble stars, that's just idol content.
Yeah.
Like Utapri built their entire thing off of Otome to begin with. They built their entire thing off of they're yours. They're yours.
Also, they were smart enough to at least with the games stop at 11 boys. Well, now 18, but still, they stopped at 18 technically.
Right.
Ensemble Stars. 11. Ensemble Stars has like 8 million boys. Guys, I will.
But they're also
the anime version of AKB.
Again, I've said it in previous lives. I stopped watching the anime at like episode 2 because I'm like, there's too many. I don't know who any of these people are because keep introducing new people to me.
Ensemble Stars?
Yes.
I never even bothered with that.
You know what? Y'all are gonna hate me for saying this right now. And I understand if you do, but it really feels like Ensemble Stars feels like the Homestuck of anime sometimes.
I will not hate you for that because I never cared for Homestuck.
God bless ye.
I mean, okay. As somebody,
but you know what I'm saying though. You know what I'm getting at though.
So regarding something like Homestuck, okay, so I was like super into Homestuck. At least at the like first, like maybe the first half of it or whatever. But once it got to like,
there's like 10 million characters in that bitch.
Yeah, no. Once it got to like, oh, there's more trolls, I like stopped caring.
Like, why is there like 700 different characters in here? There doesn't need to be.
I was never into it, and my friends and I have just had one too many run-ins with Homestuck cosplayers who just happen to be, let's just say, less than nice.
Mm-hmm.
And those people are you're representing.
We don't even got to talk about it like that. I'm just saying that they are definitely the entire franchise was definitely kind of and it feels like Ensemble Stars is kind of in terms of just the way that sometimes it tends to be handled with the amount of characters.
Because Ensemble Stars is like it's just a rhythm game. Like it's just an idol rhythm game. And like you're the main character's like a girl, but like
they did have like at first it was just that idol racing game basically. And that wasn't going to sell here to begin with. That was not going to sell with a Western audience, period. We usually don't do that. We usually are trying to play a game and not get invested in a character specifically if you're playing games to begin with. For whatever reason, that's just the MOBA game audience here. But I mean, it was wildly popular then. They said, okay, let's make a rhythm game specifically. And that one, for whatever reason, sells wildly well here. It is what it is at that, but
at least with Idol 7, I feel like the story kind of like has good pacing. So like I don't mind when they add new characters. You know why? Because they didn't add the 4th group till season 3 of the anime.
Ugh.
So like you know, I got to know the other characters before that and like, you know, pick my favorites or whatever. Like, at least there was that Ensemble Stars was just throwing boys at you like every 2 seconds at the first couple episodes. Let's see. I also remember reading that it seems like Brock is looking forward to or expects Akamatsu to return eventually. I mean, I would hope so.
I would also hope so.
His name's on like every song.
Every single one. Or at least almost every single one. He does most of the lyrics.
Right.
I would hazard a guess of at least 75%.
It would give happiness the opportunity to explore romance.
Partially, if not solely.
Y'all are so optimistic about this. I would 49!
There are 49 boys in Ensemble Stars? No.
Like I said, it's like the anime version of
I forgot about Idolmaster. God, because they have girls too.
Yo, I tried to get into IMAS like years ago. I couldn't. I could.
How many boys does
I'm not saying Untouchable Stars is bad. I want to say that right now. I'm not saying Untouchable Stars is bad.
That's not your thing.
Right.
I just couldn't get into it because there's maybe I'll try to watch it again. I don't know. I have the rhythm game on my phone.
It's like, because I just wasn't able to get so into the story simply because it was making so many references to a different game that we don't have in English.
Right.
Also, apparently the wiki got nerfed for that as well. I tried watching maybe like 2 episodes with a friend who's really into it, and you know, I'll support her and everything. But it's difficult for me to stay into it if I don't have something that I can kind of have a latch onto at some point or something like that, simply so I can be like, okay, I'm coming back to this and not playing the same 45 songs all over again.
Right.
You feel?
Yeah.
Because the rhythm game is not bad.
Stage play and like an episode.
I will say the stage plays are kind of
okay.
they kind of
so
go.
we have idol raising and the rhythm game. Well, I only know the rhythm game. You can play it in English.
Yeah.
Idolish 7
I need to
is
watch
amazing.
Idolish 7 at some point.
I do love I7.
It's good. If you like Utapri, it's not Ultimate. It's not.
Right.
But
well, in the way that it's like an idol group starting from the bottom and then working their way up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's similar to Utapri in that context.
Right.
Of like we starting from the very beginning of like an idol group becoming an idol group and like how they become like famous and such. But Idolish 7 is more realistic because no magic shit happens. Not like in Utapri where like, you know, oh, he was a cat. And
no
then also,
new
like,
dog.
He fought Satan, and also we went back in time, and also there's a robot, and also
I think that was hilarious though.
And also this dude's dog could turn into a horse and shit. Like, no, that's not an Idolish 7.
The absurdity of it all.
It really the biggest shit that happens in Idolish 7 is like, oh, we're gonna try to get revenge on this other group, so we're gonna make a group that like doesn't want to be idols, but they're still gonna be idols, and then also we're gonna like take this dude's sister away from him and have this other guy adopt him.
Hated those.
And also we'll make this other dude like hate his brother and think he abandoned him and his family. And have him be an asshole. And then also like this other guy, he's the bastard son of some famous actor, who also has apparently done some shady ass shit. So like that's the like realisticness of like Idolish 7. It's like all of these people are connected to each other.
And I hadn't thought of this till just now, but I7 has a center. Starish doesn't really focus on just one at the center of each group song.
Yeah.
I know they do that with On Stars as well. But once again,
they kind of more focus on like idol culture.
Exactly.
Like actual idol culture. Also because like there's like song stealing and shit in Idolish 7 as well.
Oh dear.
God, yes.
I'm still pissed about that shit happening.
There's a lot that makes me upset about
there's a lot of shit that happens in Idolish 7 that makes you mad. Because it's like realistic, like because like some of them are still in high school, so like they go to school during the day, and then they're like they work, you know, when they're not at school, and like some of them are like adults, so like, you know, this is their job, and they all live together. And it's interesting, and then you kind of learn about like the manager too, and how this is like her first like actual job since graduating from like college or whatever. It's
she's just there.
She's
there to be there.
She does quite a bit. It's just like she's not like the main focus. Like she's not Haruka, because it like
definitely,
because like, you know, again, Utapri is like an ultimate based series.
Exactly.
So, like, she's the MC, of course. But like when you play,
she's their songwriter.
Yeah, she's the composer. With Idolish 7, like she's the manager because her dad is the head of the agency.
Mm-hmm.
And also like she has like a love interest kind of thing, but it's with someone else in a different group and like that's canon. Like,
oh damn,
like it's not an Ultimate.
But she didn't realize that until recently. She was just as oblivious.
Yeah, well, she's like oblivious, but like the dude that's interested in her is like super obvious.
I'm like, you could do worse than him. What's the problem?
Yeah. Yes, Tsumugi. Also, fun fact, her Seiyu is married to Takuma Terashima. So she is married to an idol boy, just not an idol boy from the idol series that she's in.
She's in the game. She's in the game.
So yeah, Tsumugi, her Seiyu is married to Takuma Terashima.
Nice.
Yeah, let's see. Idol Master Saitama has 49.
Huh?
Because that's the one with
Side
the guys,
M also
right?
has 49?
Because the regular Idol Master, that's the girls, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm more into the male idols than the female idols. Because I don't know. Yeah, Gaku from Trigger is...
She could do worse. She could do worse.
I have Gaku's photo book.
I'm the same way. The female idol animes... I mean, Kirarin Revolution, that was a different thing entirely, but Love Live never even flipped on my radar.
It's such a different expectation from those franchises, I think.
Right.
Also completely different target audience to begin with. So of course they're going to be pandering to completely different people. I don't think I'm going to be into the same thing that dudes are into, like, across the board. I'm definitely not into a lot of female idol animes or any franchises like that to begin with, simply because the way that I feel like idol culture is to begin with is just kind of, Jesus fucking Christ. Y'all good out there?
Yeah, well, actually,
it's definitely an expectation.
There was some TikTok drama within the past couple days.
Y'all think I use TikTok like that?
Idol culture. So here's
does.
So basically, there's this. I didn't know that there were idol groups like outside of like Japan and Korea that are like, you know, like they're trying to be legit.
Yeah.
But like they're trying to they're based off of like J-pop groups or like K-pop groups, I guess.
Like the same formula, basically.
Yeah. So like they have like calls and responses and stuff, and they dress like idols would in Japan or Korea. And so for the past couple days, well, first, okay, so like the night before yesterday, I'm scrolling on TikTok and I see this like this TikTok that apparently a bunch of people were getting, and it's of this group that's based in California, Southern California. This 3-girl group. They call themselves an idol group called Sorbet. And they're dressed like, you know, like you would see, like, I don't know, the Love Live girls kind of dressed or whatever.
Right.
And like they're teaching you their call and response, and like clearly, like, you know, like 2 of them are white. So like, you know, the whole drama on TikTok is like, oh, the one girl, one of the white girls, she like does her call and response, but like she says stuff like in Japanese. Like she says strawberry and blueberry, but like how you would read it, I guess, in katakana, or like, I don't know, but people are like saying that like they're like, oh, you're like appropriating culture and it's kind of racist. And yeah, so like I didn't even know that there were, and apparently there's another group from like France or something called like Ice Cream, and they're like an idol group that's trying to like get off the ground. But my thing is like, okay, but the West, the West isn't built for like idol culture like that.
It's not.
Like, it's just like, you know, kudos
it's
to
incredibly
y'all.
Niche.
Yeah, kudos to y'all for trying. Maybe don't like, I don't know, try to be all kawaii des or whatever. Because that, like, what?
Yeah, like ease into it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because a lot of people are saying like, oh, like, why are you doing your calls and responses in Japanese when like clearly when you said all of your songs would be in English? Like, why wouldn't you just do it in English? But anyways,
Yeah.
I don't know. People got really mad, and so yeah, they're just roasting this group or whatever. But anyway, I didn't know that. But like me, like watching this stuff, I'm like, this like, you know, one, like this is why I'm a male idol fan only. Because the girl groups I can't take seriously. Just personally, like it's just not really for me.
Right.
Like specifically like the idol groups, like the Love Live kind of groups.
Yeah.
Well, that's for as far as anime girl idol
well,
groups.
Even
real
like,
life girl groups, I like them.
It depends for me, only because once again,
it depends for me.
Yeah, because once again, like I said about the whole music thing, if I don't like music, I can't get into it. There was maybe like one or two groups that I was really into, and when all the original members left, so I'm not really as into them anymore. So it's hit or miss. You feel? I'm still more of a band person,
but it's definitely like it's one of those things where again I'm like I'm not an expert or anything on like the idol culture or anything, but I've watched enough idol things. Like I've watched enough fictional idol stuff and a little bit of like the real, at least Japanese idol stuff. Not necessarily like Korea. Since I feel like K-pop is like a completely different like.
Right.
That's a completely different thing. As far as like the way the music is or like how the groups look and such. But I feel like the culture is the same, of course. Like they all live together. Like this is their job. Like they can't be in relationships. If they do date, it's like in secret. It's gonna, they're gonna get their career's gonna get tarnished if they get caught or whatever. Like that, I feel like is very similar. Between like the idol culture and such. Where again, like we don't really have that in the West. Like, if you're in like a famous group or a band or whatever, like you can kind of like do whatever you want.
Yeah, because even if you are scrutinized for it, it's not like everybody's going to suddenly renounce you.
Yeah, it's not as strict. It's only strict if you are like a minor. Like if you're like a Disney kid or a Nickelodeon kid and they, you have rules to follow and you're making your music through like a company like that, of course they're going to be stricter. Like they have an image to protect, but it's kind of like, once you're an adult, like you can kind of do whatever you want. And of course, like, you're going to get followed if you're famous, paparazzi are everywhere or whatever. People are going to come up to you and such. And it's just like, I feel like it's very different. And I feel like it's very niche for like the West. Like only people that are interested in like that idol culture are going to like be into it. In terms of like a group from like Australia or like the US or Canada or Europe that like make themselves like paint themselves as like we're an idol group.
Right.
We're like, we're basing ourselves kind of off of like, J-pop groups or whatever. What the fuck?
Jeez.
Yeah, nah. I ain't doing all that. Y'all can have that
crazy,
one.
But this no.
Y'all don't need that. That's what I'm saying, Mimi. For real.
To get an adult female, I was like mid-20s. Yeah,
literally, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, they're out there. They're just.
Well, my thing is like, we
need more.
Like, my thing is like with these foreign idol groups that are like trying to start like these indie groups. I'm like, okay, but like, can y'all like sing? Can y'all dance?
Exactly.
Like these idol groups, because like these idol groups and stuff, like they're trained to do that. Like they like
heavily depends.
Yeah, they go to like an academy basically for this. Like
heavily depends because in a lot of
the audition processes can be like brutal.
Because my thing is, I'm like, okay, are at least y'all like in these like Western idol groups, like, are y'all going to like voice lessons at least? Like,
right?
Can you carry a note?
Yeah.
I know that some of the indie idol groups will be a little bit, and it really depends on where you're like, I mean, indie, like bottom of the barrel, kind of, you know, like literally getting their start grassroots, basically.
Hmm.
Half the time they ain't that good. It really is entirely fan dedication that will get them off the ground like that. And we're not going to have that here. That's just it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like serious efforts only.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's like you
Like,
can only go so far if you're starting in the West. Like
exactly.
even in the U.S., like the U.S. is a huge country. Obviously, there's millions of people that live here, but
You're
like
not gonna get that far.
like
But
no one's gonna understand the culture like maybe the anime community understands, and the anime community in the US like is big, but it's not that big, and like the idol community within like the anime
even smaller.
smaller. So like no wonder people are like just calling these like girls on TikTok like they're just saying it's really cringy.
But
So
like there probably is a right way to do it. They're just not.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is like, well, how else are you going to start if you're an indie group? Like, you're not signed to an actual label. You kind of have to like, make a Kickstarter or some shit.
Yeah.
2D Idol, by the way. Oh, yes. Oh, you're talking about
I see.
Adult female idols, mid-20s, 2D.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
we ain't
exactly.
gonna get that.
Like,
you already know we're not gonna get that.
Like, okay, if there was a 2D female idol show like that where they're in their 20s or something like that, okay, I would watch that because that's closer to my age. Like,
I would be all in for it.
In terms of the girls, because like with the guys, it's like, okay, yeah, I can rewatch Utapri a million times, like they're in high school.
Exactly.
They're high school age, but it's also like,
yeah, but when they're high school age, at the same time they don't seem high school age.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like if it's female idols, like of course they're in high school, they're gonna look more like high school girls, and then they're gonna like act more like high school girls,
right?
And then all their song, I feel like at least the anime ones, like the female anime idols, like all their songs sound the same. I can't tell whose voice is whose.
They are all the highest sopranos you will ever hear in your
life. Exactly. They're all like sopranos.
Ain't nobody ever gonna be an alto in that bitch.
Like again, at least with the boys, I can at least tell who's singing if it's a boy group.
Right.
Right. They will allow for more variety in the range at the very least.
Oh.
But it's very cookie cutter for a lot of the female idol stuff.
So. But I guess that's what the fans like.
Maybe that explains why Love Live has like so many.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like literal like.
Mm-hmm. And if I were to say that to a live fan, I would probably get decked in a moment.
I'd be like, I don't care. I'm doing.
I mean, I would say it. I would absolutely risk being decked, but damn, like, it's the truth.
It's
so
like
hard
they go on and on and on and be like, I don't agree, but that your thing.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like I could take on any guy that's like a Love Live fan.
You know what?
I could probably win.
Hypothetically, yeah, you're right. But
it's like the one thing I hear from Love Live stans talking to each other is like, okay, who's your girl? I'm like, how do you pick if there's that many?
Well, also they all kind of look the same.
I hate to say it like that, but you're right.
Well, just because, like, in terms of, like, the girls, like, they're, like, there's no, because they make them look like high school girls, even, like, kind of, like kids almost, like, they look really small, so, like, they don't really have, like, defined, like, faces or anything, like, they just have, like, everyone has the same face shape and the same, like, eye shape, and like, oh, this one has like black hair, this one has pink hair, this one has like brown hair, but their faces look the same. At least with like Utapri as an example, like I can tell it's Utapri.
Like at least their eye colors are different.
But I can tell who's who. Nobody looks the same.
Yeah, they're not even all the same height.
Yeah, and it's not because their hair is all different colors. Even if I were to make their hair all what it would be naturally, like in real life, like dark brown or black, like
Right.
I would still be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably get done roasting.
My bad.
Is it still roasting if you're telling it like it is?
I mean,
yeah, maybe that's true.
No,
Like younger 2D
literally,
idols
I
are very
would-
daughter, but where are the women? Yeah, where are the
You're
women?
so-
What happens
you're
when
so
they become
correct.
women?
now they have to become mothers, don't you know?
Oh God.
Show
was
that
so evil.
side
I'm
as
sorry.
well.
I'm sorry. I was
Well,
right
that's-
though.
That's what we have Oshi no Koi for.
They're gonna call it out a little bit.
Which again, you can only watch that on High Dive. So like, screw you, High Dive. For people that really wanted to watch, I do want to watch that show. It looks interesting.
It actually.
I
watched
skimmed the first episode. I don't really get it.
You skipped it?
No, I skimmed it.
Oh,
like,
skim.
Watched
Okay.
bits of it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it doesn't.
yeah, I'm not sticking with this.
I only-
really does
I only
not make
watched
any
the
sense
ending
yeah.
Scene of like the first episode or whatever, and I was very
Bruh.
confused.
Yeah, I would be confused if I only watched
to
the
get
end
the
too.
premise. I'm like, just no,
Because
please.
I have
no.
I have some friends that like read the manga, I guess, and they sent that thing, the like the ending scene because they don't have High Dive.
I will
so
say
like they saw it on Twitter or something, and I was just very confused.
I mean, it felt kind of like a crawl, honestly, at first. It did feel more like a slice of life for a good solid 90% of that first episode. But eventually when I did get to the end, and even though people were talking about, wow, what a huge twist, I'm sitting here like, you didn't see it coming? Y'all didn't see that coming already? Like, considering all that does actually happen with, like, you know, real life idols over there, I wasn't surprised at all. Not one bit. Some of this doesn't even have to idol. Some of this just happens. Oh, you're a foreigner who lives there? Okay, at some point you might get stalked. This is just a fact of life at that point. At that point, that's just like anywhere, though. If you're living in a city, then...
Yeah.
But with idol culture, yeah, I wasn't surprised at that bit at all, actually. I was just... Come on. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, spoilers for Oshi no Koi, by the way.
I didn't say anything outright. I was just like,
oh yeah,
okay,
no.
there's
I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
you know, there's a twist.
But
at the
all
end.
us in this room, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. The twist didn't surprise me specifically. After that little bit happened in the very first portion of that episode with the doctor. Yeah, okay. All right, something shit is gonna happen with the same dude. I get it. I know already.
Yeah, I don't know.
That not to sound like, but
that's my thing. I don't know if these. I don't know if I would want to become an idol. Because I got a lot of stalkers. And
Perfect Blue was right there.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
movie
Perfect Blue
was right there.
Perfect Blue. One of my favorite
famous
movies.
or not, you just gotta have the right plan to handle a stalker.
Right, like
Yeah,
at that point, use a pen name. Sunglasses are great.
And if they approach you, have a right way to handle it.
Escape, like
know who to reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
Document everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love.
If you feel like you're being followed, don't go straight to your house.
Exactly. Always know where the police station is.
Period.
Yeah, I actually do know where there's one around me.
I know where the fire station is.
Ours is right next to each other. It's bonkers.
Anyways, all right, guys.
We did it.
We're back.
We went on tangent. But that's okay.
Tangent after tangent. It's
yes.
right though.
But you know what? That means we had a good conversation. So I'm very happy with how things turned out. And I'm very happy to see your slideshow, Toll. That was just so fun.
Thanks.
And
I put it together in a
to talk about the music because like I've been wanting to just kind of go off and talk about some of the music, and of course we can always do this again at another time.
Absolutely.
Maybe we can do that different thing that you said where we kind of like I don't know, get compare lists or something.
List of faves and whatnot.
Yeah. But thank you so much for joining, everybody, and thank you very much, Mimi. Happy 10th episode,
10th episode.
Woo! Here's to 10 more. I mean, honestly, we could talk about like everything within Utapri, every aspect. Like, I'm down to talk about anything. But thank you so much for joining. Once again, my two lovely guests.
Thank you for inviting me.
I appreciate y'all for coming.
Absolutely.
You're always welcome back at any time. Yes, hearts. Y'all are welcome back anytime. You just hit me up, send me a DM, and then anyone in the chat, if you want to come on, if you have something Utapri related you want to talk about, send me a DM on Twitter or Discord. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So the next episode is gonna be on June 9th. Everybody, so that's the next
Oh my
episode.
God, sorry, I can't make it. I have a date.
You have a date?
Sorry. No. I don't. That's Natsu's birthday, guys. I got dinner plans.
No worries. You can always watch the VOD.
I'm joking.
After.
I don't actually have dinner plans.
Okay. Well, for anyone that can't make it in terms of being in the chat or anything like that, you can always watch the VOD. It will be up immediately after the stream ends. So you just refresh the page and you can watch the VOD. Oh, hello. Yeah, Natsuki shows B-Day.
Literally.
Oh,
that's
yes. Natsuki show and powder.
I was about to get like, y'all don't know.
So yeah, the 9th is gonna be the next episode. I might do the episode after that on the 16th. Instead of waiting 2 weeks, or I have to do it on the 30th. Because the 20th through the 23rd is when I'm going to be out of town, and I come back the 23rd, and I do not want to have to do a podcast after I come home from being on a plane. Because that's when I'm going to go see Fall Out Boy.
I hope you have fun.
On the 21st, so I come back the 23rd. Yeah, it's going to be so fun. So I have to decide whether I'm going to do the 16th or the 30th. Probably the 16th, because then we'll resume like a normal schedule,
right,
in July, where we'll have the 7th will be the episode after the second one in June, whenever that happens. So yeah, that's just what I'm just letting y'all know in advance, so that way you're not like, how come you're not doing the 23rd? Because I'm gonna be tired as hell. So, yeah.
I say the idols need a break, and so do we.
Yes, exactly. Again, thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you want to follow the guests, their ats on Twitter in the description. You can go check them out. And of course, I didn't put mine in the description, but I mean, you can go to any episode and like copy paste there. Duh. Yeah, look forward to more episodes, and I promise, guys, I'm gonna start putting up videos on YouTube again. It's just I need time to do that, and I don't have time right now.
Not a problem.
You can always follow me on TikTok. I do post videos on TikTok because they're much easier to edit because they're very short. So yeah, have fun, stay safe. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.